Hi, welcome to Thursday with a Friend. My name is Lawrence, and unlike last week, this special guest will not be 45 minutes late because he is already here. So I want to welcome Mr. Trustarscreamer, right?
Yes.
It's not, but we can confirm that it's not Trusty Screamer, right?
Correct. True.
David,
Starscreamer.
David, it was great to finally actually meet you. I've seen you on shows before. I've called you the wrong name. Sometimes I can't even figure out if I'm calling you the right name, the wrong name. Hell, I probably murdered the name at one time. So
the best part is it's traveled across shows. It's one of my it's something that at our house my wife and daughter crack up every time that someone does it.
Well, again, I don't know why so much. It looks like Trust the Screamer. And like you're right, the R kind of gets lost. It's right there. I mean, it's even the capital S is right there, but I still get people that can't put the A on Punk with Toys.
Well, the A is right there.
Yeah, I've always laughed because sometimes I'll see someone that they're insulting me, and I'll be like, I really want to post like, you forgot the A. Anyway, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining me. I know normally you have a show going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you very much for letting your co-host take that over so you can jump on here and do this little old show.
Hey, I appreciate the fact you invited me on. Like I said, I don't get out of my shell too often, so it's a fun thing.
As I was telling you, before we started, and anyone that's watching right now live that doesn't know, or maybe on the replay, I started the show because I wanted to showcase people in the community that help support me. I didn't want to get the biggest YouTuber on. I didn't want to get the next toy maker on or some designer on. That's great. Every other show does that. I wanted to help support the people that have been there supporting me. And you came in and you are absolutely wonderful in the chat. Every time there's new people, I try and highlight them so they feel like, hey, the host they notice me. They're trying to, they're incorporating me. And then you just kept going on and on and on. And you start to see who is a valuable in your chat. Because I said before, my Monday show is nothing without every single one of these people. And did my screen just go crazy on you for a second?
No, you're fine.
Okay, because it went nuts over here. I was like, what the hell's going on? So, sorry, Ed. So there's blah, 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 me. I know. Well, that is why my head is so big. Hey, if I don't like myself this much, who's going to like me, right?
Hey,
so
you are your own brand.
Hey, I have to support it.
Exactly.
So let's quickly, I want to head in the chat really quickly. And then we're going to get into you. So we have Same Time Toys, GI Bro, who has the best guns in the community right now. Machine Man, GI Jetman. I know, look at that. Come on. Joe Fest is coming soon. We have Menhoza. Matthew. We have Kiwi GI Customs, who I will be on his show this Saturday at 8:30 p.m. David R. Frank Dumagno. We have Action Figs, Sup Punk and the Screamer. Hey chat. Whew. Grizzlehorn. And I think that's it. We'll have more people, I promise. Look at this GI Bro. Let's fucking go.
You guys gonna see this is gonna be the lowest rated episode all year round.
Oh hell no. Hell no. Let's see here. J Astro, you aren't a genuine toy tuber, Demania, till Lawrence mispronounces your name and tells everyone how big your guns are. Hey, I only tell GI Bro how big his guns are because we all saw them. All right. If you were at Joe Fest, you couldn't have missed him because the guy does not have a shirt with sleeves on it. I'm convinced of it.
All my guns are 1/12 scale, unfortunately.
You don't have any 1/18th?
No.
Really?
I mean, Wait, never mind. As I'm looking at my two Joy Toy figures.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit. So, tell me, since we talked about the name to begin with, where does your name come from?
So I am an old geek. I am old. So I way back when the message boards first started, and I was primarily a Transformer fan. I was one of the older members on a forum called T-Formers,
Okay.
and on that one I was Starscreamer. I was I was able to pick up that name, Starscreamer. But then whenever I went to any other message board and opened up another account, Starscreamer was always taken. And I'm like, I've been using this name since 2001. So when I would go onto other forums, I'd be like, well, screw that. I'm the true Starscreamer. I'm the originator. So because Starscream was taken, so because he was my favorite Transformer. So I became Starscreamer, and then that name got taken, so I am now the true Starscreamer. And I'm able to find that one on everything I join right now.
So how long was it before someone started calling you Trustarscreamer?
That was literally earlier this year. I was watching Hella Dope Toys, and I put a comment on there, and they had Action Toys and Mr. Wonderful on there, and Mr. Wonderful started it. That is literally, it started on the Hella Dope show.
So Travis,
Yeah.
it's always a Travis that ruins everything for someone.
You say ruined. It has become one of the. Whenever now I go on Oz's. If I comment on Oz's show, I comment on Toy Elite's show. Anything of that area, it's anything related in this biz now. It's always Trusta. No, it's true, and I just start laughing. And I'll take that.
And but you know what? It means a lot when people know. When people know it. Matthew Matson says Mr. Spaceballs came up with it.
It's like the old joke. It's like the that Dos Equis commercial. The most interesting man in the world. He has inside jokes with complete strangers. It's like suddenly everyone's in on that joke, and it's awesome.
Now you know what this is about. Mr. Spaceballs came up with it. You know Travis's story about Spaceballs, right? He thought he's so young. He thought Star Wars was a spinoff of it.
Oh,
he thought Star Wars was a spinoff of Spaceballs.
Jeez, did I just get another? I just got another gray hair. Oh my god, that just my beard just got whiter, and that hurts.
I mean, I know that he's a little bit younger than I am, but I don't understand at what point you would think how you couldn't know that Spaceballs was a spinoff of Star. I guess if you're like a little kid, but he was a little bit older when he finally realized.
I mean, if he said Alien was part of it, because William Hurt was in both movies, which cracked me up.
Okay.
I could almost see that, but no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but so he really thinks it, or he really thought it. And you know what? He plays the joke pretty well. He's really into it. So it's good that he can laugh at himself, because I don't think I would let anyone know if I was that messed up. If I screwed that up. The greatest saga of all time. I don't care what anyone says. Star Wars, the first trilogy, still the greatest saga of all time. How you weren't able to figure out that Spaceballs was the joke?
Because Rick Moranis inspired Darth Vader.
As Ed says, it's Travis. He's distracted by a slight breeze. Very true. Very true. I guess Shane didn't realize this either. Yes. We talked about it actually, I believe, when he was on this show many moons ago, it seems. I think we discussed it. But he's discussed it numerous times. Anyway, so do you mind me asking how old you are?
46. Well,
oh, you're young.
Well, in about 4 hours, 3 hours, I'll be 46.
That is right. Yeah, I did see that your birthday was coming up tomorrow, right?
Yep.
So thank you. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to. I want to call you Trust.
It's okay. Just do it. Bring it. I want to love this, man. I've been watching you do this. This is gonna be the best part now.
Well, it's again like I mean, everyone sees it, and we're just like, hey, look, it's Trust the Screamer.
It's great.
Say hi to Legend series.
What is
And we
up,
also
man?
have
Take a puff from me.
Loki is in here. All right, so you're 46 years old. Where are you from?
Oh boy, it's a fun one. I was born in Akron, Ohio.
I'm
Then
sorry.
at the tender age of 5, I then moved. Oh, it gets worse because then at the tender age of 5, I then moved down to Huntsville, Alabama for about, and I had a visit there. I visited there till I was about 12 years old, and then from there migrated up to the Rockville, Maryland area, which I stayed there till the ripe age of 28, and then moved down here to North Carolina, where I've resided since.
And Bees Battleground, my nemesis coming in saying, I'm sorry. Anytime someone's from Ohio, I'm like, I'm so sorry. If you watch me long enough, you know my feelings on Ohio.
Hey, my father was a professor at Michigan. Okay.
I love to hear that. Here, look at this. Here. So wait, so your dad was a professor at Michigan.
My dad's a whole book unto itself. My dad was a physician. He worked for the FDA. He worked for NASA. He was a professor, nutritionist.
Did he work at Ohio State?
No.
Okay.
My brother graduated from there.
That I'm sorry for. But hey, you know what? Family. You can't pick your family. You can only pick your friends. And even then, sometimes you fuck that up.
We got stories on those too.
All right, so it sounds like you've been all over. What's the reason why you kind of bounced all around then?
Well, told you my dad had a lot of. My dad,
yeah,
was the physician thing mostly for that. He was.
Okay.
I mean, when I was born as a physician, Alabama was a physician. Then he worked for the FDA, and then I just finally wanted to get the hell out of Maryland because I needed just to get out on my own. So when I was 28, the woman I was dating, my girlfriend, said, "What the hell, might as well." So we went out. We literally left the state, moved in together, and we got married. So we haven't left since.
All right. So then, growing up, did you have any siblings? Oh, you have a brother. That's Ohio.
I have 4 older half brothers, 2 older half sisters, and 1 younger full blooded sister. In my father's first marriage, he had 5 kids. In my mom's first marriage, she had 1 kid. They got married. They had myself, and then they had my little sister.
All right. So
yeah.
I take it there's a gap between you and
the oldest. My youngest older sibling is 11 years older than I am. So I really don't. I'm not that close to that part of the family.
Okay. So I'm assuming your dad was a professor at Michigan before you were born. You
Much,
never
yes.
lived here.
My dad was old. He was 50 years old when I was born.
My God. And he already had 4
Yep.
kids and a stepdaughter, right?
Son. Stepson.
Well,
yeah.
So they had 5 kids and they were like, we should have more.
Well, I'm technically the firstborn of their marriage.
That's not the point.
Oh, it gets better. Okay, so there is a professor, a psychology professor, who did a whole thing about birth order and how your personality is. And I got to meet him and I explained myself to him and he just told me to walk away. Because as far as my mom's concerned, I'm only her second child.
That's true.
But of their marriage, I'm the firstborn. But I'm technically number 6. I mean, am I a middle child, a firstborn, or second to last born?
Well,
I know I'm weird. Okay, let me put it this way. I know. It gets even better. My dad was born in 1928. So that's technically what was called the maker generation. The maker generation is the generation that became the parents of the boomers. So technically, I'm the world's youngest baby boomer at the same time. I could have so much. I've gone through so many breakdowns about why I'm so messed up.
Wow. Okay. So, yeah, because I see my son, he's my first child, but it's my ex's second child.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it's like that.
Yeah. And then we have a daughter together. Now, I raised Emily from the time she was 5 till she graduated, and she's my daughter. She's never met her real dad. I'm the one that takes care of her, or I took care of her. She lives in California now, so her boyfriend takes care of her, fiance, whatever. So So he's the middle child, but
Mhm.
technically he is my oldest. If you want to look at bloodlines.
Exactly. So
So and again, he is the Marsha.
okay. So I want to say this though. There is with that whole screwed up lineage thing, by me calling myself the world's youngest baby boomer, gives me one very badass thing to say. That my 12-year-old daughter is the youngest Generation Xer then.
But technically, isn't your sister? Because isn't she younger than you?
Oh, I'm just saying that my kids, yes, no, because my sister's the same generation as I am because the boomer thing. I'm
That's
saying
what, isn't she younger? So she's the youngest.
she's the youngest in the family. Yeah.
But then she's the youngest baby boomer, right?
Yes. Okay. True. You're right. You're right there. But I'm just saying, so my daughter is basically, she's got Generation X values, which I
So
absolutely love.
you're already lying, saying you're the youngest baby boomer when really it's your sister. So maybe your name should be not Trustarscreamer.
Well, if you know anything about the character Starscream, you don't trust Starscream.
That is very true. And then he gets turned to a pile of. So he gets turned to a pile of ash.
In the movie. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I cried. I bawled. All these kids were crying when Optimus Prime died. I'm like, fine. Starscream died. I'm like,
I cried when Duke didn't die because I hated Duke. And then years later, you find out that it was because of the Transformers, and you're like, why the hell didn't this one come out first? Because no one wanted Duke. Well, by no one, I meant me.
well, they had to edit that in as a phone call, and we just got the call, and he's fine. Everybody's fine.
Everyone lives in GI Joe. It's like the 18. All right, so how much younger is your sister?
5 years.
Wow, my God, your dad was a glutton for punishment. 55 years old, and I tell everyone, kids are for young people because you know what? They don't care. You come home and they don't care if your knees hurt. They're gonna jump on you.
And that's why I only have one.
I tell everyone to stop. Just stop. But when I hear someone in their 40s, they're having a kid or they want to have kids, and I'm like, no, because you don't get better. Like
Nope.
your knees don't get better.
Nope.
They want to jump on you, and if you're half a good parent, you're going to do whatever they want, and it just adds to your age. I think Ed knows this for sure. Matthew Matson, my other moderator, I think he was 40 when he had his first kid.
My mother-in-law wanted to say, "You guys gonna have a second one?" And I just gave her the look. Again, growing up with an older father is no. I wouldn't want to do that to another kid.
Loki says you enjoy the kids more the older you get. Do you have kids? I don't think you have kids, Loki.
There's some jokes I want to make, but I don't want to get this show in trouble.
Here's what I have to say. I will be happy to have grandkids because you love that age when they're little.
And you can give them back.
And you give them back.
You can give them back. It's like being an uncle. You can give them back.
Yes, you can give them back. They're not going to jump on you when you get home from work, because when you get home from work, the hope is that they're not living with you. All right?
Ooh, yeah.
I can't promise that, but the hope is that they're not living with you. That you've gotten all the freeloaders out of the house by then. And then you can take them on the weekends and let them do whatever they want. Load them up with sugar and be like, here you go. So, Matthew Madison says, you're 20 minutes into the show. The words don't matter as much as. So, all right. 20 minutes. We haven't touched anything here. All right. So,
I've had dates like that.
Yeah. So you didn't have a built-in play friend, obviously. Yeah, not your brothers and your sisters.
Nope.
A huge gap. Do you remember like the first toys you played with as a kid? Not the ones like you first fell in love with, but a lot of people in our age, you're a little bit younger, but the adventure people, Hot Wheels. Do you remember like the first toys you kind of fell in love with?
Oh, absolutely. I had Constructs. I had Playmobil. I had...
I think you're the first person that mentioned Playmobil.
Huh.
Which
Lincoln
it's
Logs.
They were all over.
Well, Playmobil had like this really cool like space station thing. I remember
Yep.
like a lunar lander. I that was my thing. Um, the Fisher Price adventure thing. I mean, that's one reason why that Fisher Rice thing was so fucking awesome that Legion's put out. Because I
I
had the original one back in the day.
I didn't get that,
Oh,
and the more I see it, the more I'm like, man, I wish I would, because it looks really good in person.
it was. You mean Fisher Rice or the original
Yeah, Fisher
toy?
Rice.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, Fisher Rice. I did a that got me into Legions. Period. I had Fisher Rice, and then someone sent me this Romulus, and then I just for the hell of it, I combined the two, and I'm like, oh shit, this is a problem. But yeah, so I had that. I didn't have to. I remember I didn't have a lot of Transformers as a kid, even though that's what I loved. But I had like one or two, and that was like the perfect thing for my hyperactive little kid, because oh, I have a car. Oh, I've got a robot. Oh, I've got a car. Now I've got a robot.
That's why I said Transformers will always be there. It's not hard to sell a toy to a kid that, hey, it's a car and now it's a robot.
Mhm.
Not that hard to sell. I mean, even GoBots did it.
I had those. Hell, okay, so my dad. It was so bad. My dad had. I had Zybots. My dad actually got me fucking Zybots.
I think those were the knockoffs, right? Like
Yes.
really bad.
Even
cheap
Robot
plastic.
Chicken actually made fun of those. It was funny.
All right, so you remember like the first one, like the Adventure People? Do you remember like what were the Transformers like the first toy you fell in love with though?
110%.
Now, was there anything you had like a huge collection of? Like obviously, I had a huge collection of GI Joe. You may have heard one or two stories about it.
I actually did not. That's the funniest thing. I didn't. I did not get I didn't start collecting until I got into I had my own money, and it's almost like I was compensating for not having them.
So you didn't have a lot of stuff as a kid. Like you didn't have a lot of toys, or did you
Well,
just have
what I had was I had a ton of Legos and constructs, and I built my own Transformers out of those.
Oh, okay.
That was the thing. But yeah, because if I wanted something, my little sister wanted something louder, and she ended up getting it.
Oh, one of those, huh?
Yes. Yes.
All right, so then you're playing with Legos and constructs, and it kind of sounds like your dad would have probably been more into something like that than a GI Joe action figure.
Remember, he was a physician, so I really didn't. So I saw him coming home from work tired. That was basically it.
So
I was. So this stuff. My parents got me this stuff to put me in a corner and take care of myself, to literally entertain myself. And I'd be sitting here watching these cartoons, and then I would try to build what I saw in the cartoons. So I would build myself a Transformer combiner. I would try to build myself a battle pod from Robotech. I would try to build Transor Z, things like that.
Wow. I like that. That is impressive on so many levels, because I would never have done anything like that. I didn't have Legos. I had very few Legos. My dad didn't like Legos, so he didn't get me Legos. And that's fine, because I probably would have lost my mind trying to put shit together. I would spend hours building a GI Joe base or Cobra base, and then I tear it down in a half hour. You spend 8 hours building it. Kind of what we do now with dioramas. I never even looked at it like that. And then you tear it down playing for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And like, okay, let's rebuild it up the next day or whatever. But you're building everything out of Legos. Like you're just using your imagination. And I almost feel like that's what kids do with Roblox. And Roblox. And what's the other one?
Minecraft.
It took me
my
a while
daughter,
to figure that one out.
Well, my daughter, I got her Legos, and she also had Minecraft. And one day I saw her, she was playing, and this was she was like 6 or 7 years old, and she was building something on Minecraft. I'm like, okay. And then 2 hours later, she built what she built in Minecraft out of Legos.
Okay. So that's cool.
I'm like, I can't get mad at that. She just used it she used to use Minecraft as a CAD software.
That's one hell of a way to look at it. It was after my ex and I split up, and I remember watching my son So I hated that he was always on video games. But the more I looked at like Minecraft and he's showing me stuff that he's building, I was like, what's the difference between him doing that and when I was a kid playing with G.I. Joe building everything? Other than his cleanup was way easier than mine.
Exactly.
And his knees survived a little bit longer. G.I. Pro says, I just build walls. There's a political joke that I'm not going to go into, but Joe Fan 84 has joined us also. He says, my son builds stuff for hours on Minecraft and blows it all up. Yeah. My son's 18 and the other day he was showing me stuff that he built and I'm like, okay, that's virtual. That's awesome. But I mean, they spend all this time farming and which is crazy. So you really did. So like, what about like, because you would have been, were you around when the turtles started getting popular and stuff?
Yes, okay. I was. Yes, I was.
That was like, I missed the whole turtle thing.
The turtles were weird for me because I saw the ads for the cartoon. For some reason, they weren't showing. This was when I was living in Alabama. Okay. And for some reason, they weren't showing on the local television networks. I mean, you could get the VHS from Blockbuster per se, but they never actually showed the show. So, in infinite lack of judgment of a parent looking over things, my dad got me the first turtle graphic novel. The Mirage Turtle graphic novel, not the...
I know what you're talking about.
I want to point out, I fell in love with it. I'm like, holy shit, these turtles are awesome. And then I tried watching the cartoon and I could not stomach it because I'm like, holy shit. It's like, dude, I'm watching these turtles gutting people. I'm watching the Shredder kill somebody. And now I'm like, he just lost because of a... No, I can't accept this.
Clint Jorgensen says, this guy has a shirt of Punk's favorite wrestler. I was trying to avoid that, Clint.
I may have worn this on purpose.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid that.
I was trying to find a way if I could stick the autograph picture behind me somewhere.
He's not my favorite person.
I'm aware. I was doing the yes, this is an utter troll. Here, I got a Punisher shirt underneath if you want me to lose this.
It doesn't bother me. I don't have to wear it. I'm wearing a fucking Lion King shirt, man. Hakuna Matata. All right. Have you ever seen me be this happy? No. You don't see me walking around with two other people walking around singing and shit. Yeah. If he puts on the Bret Hart shades, we might leave.
That I'm good.
So I lost my train of thought now.
Matt Mason, basically, if you look at his comment, that's exactly what I was going through with that's my experience with the turtles.
Mattson? I was that way. Also, the comic was awesome. So I told this, I've talked about this recently a couple times when people brought up turtles. I remember the cartoon kind of coming out. I was in middle school and I was sitting, it was home economics, and this kid, he had the turtle comic, and I remember like, I don't really like that type of stuff. And he showed me it. And I was just like, wow, this is not anything. Because there's all the black and white other than, I think were their masks were red, weren't they?
Well, it was a black and white comic, though.
Yeah.
On the comic book covers, they were red.
Maybe that's what it was. And I just remember like, wow, this is real violent. Nothing. And they were drawn different, too.
Oh.
They weren't.
I love the art. I think it's one of the most iconic pictures for me is the Shredder on the rooftop with his claws out going, "Foot, come to me." I think one of those things burned in my head, which is why I was so pissed off on the NECA figure because it had no ab crunch.
Ed says, sounds like a plan for Joe Fest, Tony Punk, and me walking around singing Hakuna Matata.
I want to see that on Hella Dope Toys. I want a video clip of that on the next Hella Dope show.
And then Roman, I don't know how to pronounce that last name without absolutely murdering it, or Macho Man Shades. But I see Roman, and I got to obviously point out anyone named Roman because of...
We will acknowledge him.
Oh. And Motu Guru is here too. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, we already know which one I'll end up being.
You can't be, listen, I'm short. I don't think you're shorter than me.
How tall are you?
Just barely 5'6".
I'm shorter. I'm 5'4" on a good day.
So if I'm slouching, we'll be eye to eye, as in,
Pretty much.
which is my normal body posture anyway, so it would be fine.
Yes. I know Ed said when I met him at when we met at PowerCon, everyone was like, pretty much, dude, you talk about being short. Like no one realized that you were really that short. Like,
Hey,
I'm that
but
short.
take this to heart though. Glenn Danzig is 5'3".
Yeah. I also watched his ass get knocked out by that big fat bodyguard or bouncer. You ever see that?
No.
There's a video clip where he gets pissed at this big fat guy. I think he's one of the security guards, bouncers, and he pushes the guy and he just levels him. And I mean, he drops him so fast.
Wait, Danzig got dropped, or he dropped the body?
Danzig got dropped.
Danzig got dropped.
Danzig pushes this guy, which, again, if you're my size and you've decided that you're going to push someone really big, you're better off just going for a knockout shot first, because pushing is not going to do any good. No. And when he pushes him, this guy just comes back, and he's coming down at an angle because he's much bigger, and Danzig goes down.
I guess based on that, you may be answering the one question I've always wanted to ask you, which was what? Danzig or Graves for the Misfits?
Oh, it's Glenn Danzig.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, I'm not a huge. I like the older Misfit stuff. I'm not a huge Danzig fan, but I'm sorry, Glenn. It's hard to replace a lead singer in any band.
Agreed.
Very rare. You can replace a guitarist, a drummer, but the singer, everything comes from it. They all have unique voices. A musician will tell you, well, that guitar sounds different. I'm not a musician, but so I can hear a voice.
You're more When Eagles Dare versus Dig Up Her Bones. Got it.
Yes. Yeah. I don't listen to any. If it doesn't have Danzig singing it, I don't listen to it at all.
Okay. Which, as you can tell, I'm a geek about everything. If you haven't figured that out yet.
Well, you said that numerous times.
Yes.
So
that is my line. That's my other catchphrase. I am that geek.
Hey, nothing wrong with it, right? You could be doing much worse things.
Oh, interesting.
U.S. Combat Dojo is joining us, and same with SCS Dog. Aloha, all just off to work, or just off work. I read things way quicker than I should. Todd C says Sammy Hagar sort of pulled it off over David Lee. They did because, and again, I'm obviously not a huge fan of
Van
Halen, just not my style of music. But when you listen to David Lee Roth and when you listen to Sammy Hagar, they were almost two different bands.
Yes, but it's funny because
what I mean by that is like the way they played.
Mm-hmm. Well,
like Van Halen, in my opinion, they changed to fit Sammy Hagar's sound from David Lee Roth. Like their songs sound completely different. But you are right; they are one of the bands that successfully had a known singer that they switched off, and like, okay, it's basically two different bands.
I would say Genesis would be a good one for that.
Did Genesis have a different?
Peter Gabriel was the original vocalist for Genesis.
Okay, so
and Phil Collins was on drums.
Okay, so you just wanted this.
Fucking Phil Collins.
No, but
today's his birthday. Did anyone know that?
I did not know that.
I didn't either. And then Johnny Reno sent me a link saying Phil Collins' 75th birthday.
You got the AC fucking DC.
So that is another one. But anyway, I post fucking Phil Collins in my Instagram story, and I tag my daughter, and you know what she says? That's what he looks like. I had no idea she did.
I mean, he got bless his heart. He aged. He aged.
Well, we all do, right?
Yeah. What's up, Bobby?
the whole fucking Phil Collins thing all came up because Gaz brought up Phil Collins, and it was just like, wow. And now it's taking on this whole life of its own, all because I told my daughter she can say fucking Phil Collins in front of me, because I swear for the longest time he was the only person that did Disney music. Like every single Disney song was a Phil Collins song. Brother Bear. I can't think of the other ones, but there's like 3 or 4 movies that is all Phil Collins. And Figure Fight Club jumping in here. What's up, Pumpkin Screamer? All right, so as you're in elementary school, obviously you said like you have all these Legos, construction, building stuff. Sounds like you have a bunch of other things. When you get into middle school, what are you doing? Are you still doing that, or do you start?
No, middle school was
because it doesn't sound like you were really. I won't say you weren't into toys, but you weren't like a lot of us where you just had.
No, I never had again. Like I said, this is compensation for that.
Yeah.
So, in general, I did not grow up with middle school and things up. I was just basically absorbing information. I was watching cartoons. I was reading books. I was reading comic books. I was just discovering the Japanimation section at Blockbuster, and I completely fell in love with that.
I don't remember that section, but I also wasn't looking for it either.
Well, because again, I love Robotech. Like if anything, more than anything else, giant robots was my thing.
Okay.
So Transformers, mentioned Robotech, Tranzor Z. I got a whole bunch of those Japanese super robots over here. I ate that shit up. Hell, I still have the Gundam novels that came to the US before they were before the anime was brought to the US.
Okay.
Like I just absorbed it.
So what about the Zords? No, what? No, not
Power Rangers?
they're not Power Rangers.
Voltron?
Voltron.
Yep. I prefer the vehicle. I prefer the vehicle.
See, I tell people I really didn't see Voltron. I feel like I missed out because so many people love Voltron. Yeah. And I had no connection to it. It does, like, I see it, I'm like, awesome. It looks cool. I have no urge to want a Voltron in my collection or anything.
Oh, that was a huge part of my childhood.
And like I don't feel like I missed out on very much, but I definitely feel like the love that people have for it, I feel like I totally missed out on.
Voltron's kind of like Masters of the Universe, where you were a kid, you loved it, but if you go back and rewatch the original shit, it's actually pretty damn painful. If that makes sense.
Totally.
Which is why when Netflix did their version of Voltron, they tried to make the Voltron people remembered. Like that's the glass they're trying to do.
It sucks when you go back and watch something you really love and realize how bad it was.
Yeah.
I love G.I. Joe, and yeah, I believe, for me, canon is what Larry Hama wrote. I don't care what anyone says, that is canon. Then you have your head canon, and a lot of people think it's the cartoon. Go back and watch the cartoon. It's not that good.
Nope.
It's fun. It's fun, but if my kids watched it, they'd be like, this is awful. And it kills me to say this, but the best cartoon of that era was Transformers. It's way better than G.I. Joe.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah. I like Transformers, and I love G1 and everything.
It was Transformers and Robotech, because Robotech actually had people get killed on screen.
I really enjoyed Robotech. I couldn't tell you anything about Robotech other than when they transformed.
That was actually how I got the Gundam novels, because I love the Robotech cartoon, and then the Robotech novels came out, which were actually, I think, much more fleshed out. They did a better job of integrating everything to it. And then the Gundam books actually had very similar covers to the Robotech novels, so I thought I was picking up more Robotech books.
No, that makes sense. Robotech, it was also the last thing I ever stole in my life was the Robotech comic. So there's that. I actually still have the comics. There was this comic store right by where the Thai food place was that I went yesterday to get Thai food. And a few of my friends were kleptos. And there was Robotech comics right by the door. And I remember when I was leaving, I grabbed a couple, probably about 10 or 12 of them. And when I got up to my friend's car, oh my God, look what I stole. And my buddy that was a huge klepto, he ended up getting busted for stealing TurboGrafx games.
Oh, fuck.
He's a chemical engineer that teaches submariners what to do if there's a nuclear meltdown. Smartest one of all of us. He's like, yeah, look what I got. And he had a huge stack, and he wasn't even scared. And I was like, I'm never stealing again. I was so scared to steal this, and here you have a stack that my hands can't wrap around. I'm like, never again. But I still keep those. I keep those comics just because of that. And they're not worth any money. If they were worth money, I'd sell them in a heartbeat. D. Griff says, I had all the Robotech comics when I was a teen. I wish I saved them. So in middle school, you're just you're watching. You said you're getting the anime and stuff like that.
Exactly, and I'm reading the books. That's basically what I'm doing right there. Just
hold on. What is this, Liv?
A syllabus.
You need a signature?
Yeah.
You're lucky because this
I know
guy...
everyone missed me. Hello. Hello.
I need to commission a card from you.
I need $5.
Oh my God.
$9 to $5. I like how you negotiate. I was going to offer you 10. I'll go to 9, then I'll go to 5. Done deal.
Actually,
Tomorrow's
take 15 after that.
Tomorrow's his birthday, actually. Believe it or not. I know.
Wait, I thought it was the other guy's birthday too.
It was. It just happened.
It was. It still is. It not anymore? Is it still?
Nope, I've ended
Do you
it.
want my pen?
Well, I just grabbed my own pen. Do you want me to use your pen?
I do.
You're lucky because before we start, he said, you know what I really like about your show? That
Your daughter.
Where he said you're a good dad.
That makes me sound creepy.
Thank you. No, he didn't mean it like that. That he said, I'm a good dad.
Well, I promise.
And you know what? I will take pride in that any day. So.
I think I'm a good daughter.
And that's what makes you so special.
That I think I am?
Well, here's your syllabus. Here's your pen. Thanks for your interruption. You're awesome. I love you. Goodbye.
Notice how I don't interrupt as much as on Thursdays because you have people.
She did it
But she still interrupts me. That shows where I stand on these things.
If it makes you feel any better. Oh, Ed is saying, hi, Olivia. Thanks for the card again.
Hi. Still waiting for my $5.
Do you know who Dreadnought Ryan is by any chance?
Do not.
Okay, so Ryan Sweeney, I had him on the show a while back. And before we went live, I would take like a half hour and talk to people. But I'd known Ryan for a while.
Am I supposed to leave?
Are you supposed to leave?
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you go on about things and then you mention me. So I have to come back.
You don't have to come back, I promise. But Ryan was like, we were talking before the stream, and she came walking in and she just started going off for like 15 minutes. I'm watching Ryan's face and he's dying laughing. He's just like 15 minutes. He's sitting there just listening to her tell me her whole story of the day. This was over a year ago, I think. So anyway, why don't you let your daughter do this?
Mostly because she's in bed at 8:30 because she's 12 and would be at school at 6 in.
Oh, okay.
6 in?
It's probably to wake up.
Yeah, to wake up.
Oh, I was going to say. School at 6 in.
Believe it or not, actually, when I do my live cast, the few times I do live casts, I have her actually monitor on the computer.
Okay.
So I've had her do that. And if you ever watch some of my old reviews for the Demon Slayer figures, she actually is sitting in the background shouting whenever I'm messing up a name on there because that was her favorite show.
See, I love that type of stuff. And then it gets annoying.
What?
Goodbye. Love you.
What? It gets annoying what?
You being here the whole time.
I'm never here the whole time. I'll tell you that one.
Right.
You gotta wait for Thursday with the daughter for that.
Okay. They have
Promo.
Oh my gosh. No shame whatsoever. No shame. Grizzlehorn says, Punk, your kid is a hoot. Yeah, don't you guys you guys think I have a big ego? Look at.
Have you seen my mother and my father? Kind of hard not to.
Get out.
Remember, every super chat goes to her college fund, people.
Yeah, exactly. And she wants to go to the University of Michigan, so
Okay, it's supposed to be
it's
a
gonna be
scholarship.
expensive. Yeah, so go get yourself a scholarship. Now go get an A in whatever I signed for your syllabus.
How, girl? I'm gonna get an A if you signed it. I hope. Unless
Alright.
I don't like you.
Okay, goodbye. All right, so in middle school, you said you started getting into all this stuff. This is why this show takes so long, because I think when we first started it, I think I followed I think I followed the questions right to a T. Now it's just become whatever you get into. So you started getting into, you said, all this different anything that was a transformer type, right?
Basically, that's a great way of putting it. If the robot went changed, I was into it.
And
I
that
was
was through
learning about
middle
it.
school.
Yes, because middle school is when I just moved up from Alabama to, well, it's, a little bit was in Alabama and then up to Maryland. So
Cressio Crow saying, "Hey, Punk Chat and Trustable Screamer or
Trustable
Kickstarter Screamer." I've never known which. Todd C. Thursday with the daughter will be at TikTok.
that's actually not a bad one to do.
It'll be on TikTok. God knows that. I don't want to get started. I can't. If I mention her name, she shows back up.
Say her name and she'll appear.
Yeah, no, I don't want to.
I believe in Olivia.
Were you watching on Oz's show when TikTok got shut down and she came on?
No.
I think there was 9 of us. Either 9 or 10 of us on stream when TikTok was shut down, and she came down and she shut for like 5 minutes. She went on a rant on Oz's show behind me, and 9 or 10 of us didn't say a word. Like, she shut down every single guy that's on that damn show from talking while she just went on her rant, and everyone's like, "Yeah, you need to have her on."
Years ago, I was at a toy show, and shout out to our hey, Misabi, what's up, man? I'm not that much local to you anymore because you're down in Raleigh and I'm up in Winston-Salem. But
wait, how do you say his name?
Inu Tabi.
Inu Tabi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I've never said it that way.
Oh.
I think I'll call it Inutabi. I don't know. Hey, if I don't screw your name up, then it's something like this, GI Bro, which is real easy.
Bro.
So,
so I'm at a toy store. We're at a toy show, and I'm looking at a Spider-Man Marvel Legend, and my girl just goes off going, "Don't you have like 15 of these, Dad? How many Spider-Mans do you need? I mean, come on, it's just Spider-Man. It's the same guy. Why do you need?" I'm like, and everyone just gets quiet, and then she everyone starts applauding when she was done.
It really sucks when they say something that you really don't have an argument for.
Oh God, yes.
Other than,
my God,
it's my money and I will spend it how I want. He knew it to be, right? Wait, how do you say it again?
Inu Tabi.
Inu Tabi.
Mm-hmm.
Punk will get it right one day. Inu Tabi. I promise you, the next time you show up, I will not be able to say it properly, but I will try.
It's okay. I didn't know how it was said until I watched one of Kato's shows.
And Ed said, "Thanks, Screamer. Been trying to tell him how to say Inu Tabi for a year."
See, you did it.
Yeah, but I'll never remember it. I will not remember it by the next time. Do you know how long it took me? Do you know who J Solo Arts is?
No.
Okay, so J Solo Arts, he pops up all the time.
Okay.
And when you look at it, it's messed up. Because if you just kind of read it, it doesn't look like J Solo Arts. The problem is that his thumbnail says J Solo Arts, but I'm not looking at that when I went to read it. So I would screw that thing up every single time.
Oh, like Jay's Olav. Okay,
I forget exactly. If he pops up for some reason, I'll probably see it and be like, "This is what he." But and then I look and be like, it says right there, J Solo Arts. It's right there. But because he doesn't have breaks in it, it fucked me up. This is what happens when you do a show by yourself and you read things while you're trying to not slow down, it screws everything up. I'm
Valid.
not. I'll admit it. I ain't the smartest man in the world. I don't read very well, but I can read, people. Just so you guys know. So, Inutabi. I'm gonna try and remember it. Krusty O'Crow says Inutabi is allowed to call Punk anything he wants from now on. Fair is fair. No. Because a punk with toys are 4 simple words. Inutabi, is it even a real word, or is that his name?
I've never gotten the origin of that name, of that screen
Okay.
name.
Either way, it doesn't matter. All right, so that's what's happening in middle school. What happened when you go to high school? Because you're not collecting toys.
Nope.
So I don't have to ask if you're out of toys, but are you still into the anime stuff?
And that's when anime kicked in hard gear.
Okay.
Anime and comic books. Oh
right.
God, I was just because I was in high school. I finally had my first job, and so I could spend my money as I wanted to, and I'm just fucking put it in my veins, okay? Image comics, Marvel comics, manga, anything. And
you're coming right into that time where Image was like, here's a number 1, here's a number 1, or is it actually they had number 0 if I remember correctly. Because I was buying everything that was Image, because I'm like, I saw Spawn blow up, it was worth money. I have so many Image number 1s, they ain't worth shit.
Especially the Liefeld's crap.
Meg's literary lounge. This is someone you know, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Just busting up in here to wish a happy early birthday to my handsome hubby, Trustarscreamer, or whatever. I'm glad that she knows your real name.
I love that woman.
And now the fact that she calls you Trustarscreamer,
she does.
That is the only name you get now. Is Trustarscreamer. Right? Your wife comes in and calls you Trustarscreamer, and when she obviously hits that capital letter, we know what it is.
Well, no, it's because to make sure I'm telling the truth, she knows the right place to poke my neck, and then I crawl out in pain. She doesn't.
And then we have the collection and Nexus. Hey, nice to have you here. All right, so you're getting into comics, and I feel like a lot of the guys I talk to that go from toys, because normally I feel like we're playing with toys throughout our elementary school. We get to middle school, every kid is still playing with toys for the most part, but no one
admit it.
No one admits to it, and then years later you find out, oh shit, we were all playing with toys, but we all hid it. Then once you get into high school, most people, they either still collect it through their siblings, they don't really let it be known, or they get into comics because that's easier to explain.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I'm reading something, or easier to hide also. So you got into collecting comics, you're in your anime, but you would have graduated, what, 97?
Bingo, dead on.
Okay. So you're coming into that, you're at the tail end, I would say, of where that is a no to do. Like, you kind of have to hide it.
Right. Yeah.
Where like now it doesn't matter.
I can tell you exactly. I can tell you the exact moment geek became chic. I can tell you. I can pinpoint you exactly when it became cool. Being nerdy, it became cool.
It was well after my time.
No, well, kind of. It was when Iron Man came out.
Oh, Iron Man. That was well after my time.
No, you could literally. That is exactly the point where right before Iron Man, meh. But when Iron Man came out, and all these guys are dragging their girls to go see Iron Man, and they're like reluctant and they start seeing Robert Downey Jr. doing his thing, and all of a sudden they're coming out with a big smile on their face. MCU nerddom became big again.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, I lived through skateboarding being the height of people hating you and nobody doing it, and the whole nerd culture. Like, again, I was a skateboarder, so if my friends knew that I bought a G.I. Joe or comics, were they gonna make fun of me? Like, we're all doing pretty stuff that was pretty obscure and not looked frowned upon, I guess is the best way to put it. So
Lords of Dogtown. Was that like how was that skateboarding movie? I love that
Yeah,
skateboarding movie
Lords of Dogtown. The movie isn't before my time, but
Yeah.
that whole era is
era.
well
That was
before.
the
Yeah, I'm the H Street era and then on because I still do it. So I can't say, oh, I did it for the. I mean, since probably '88. So I watched the big boards become the really skinny boards back to a decent sized board. The shaped boards into the popsicle stick is what they call it because it's shaped like a popsicle stick. That was a hard one for me to figure out.
Hmm.
I got back into skateboarding, everyone kept calling it a popsicle stick, and I was like, all right, that's what it's called. And then I'm reading an article, and they were talking about when skateboards were changing, and and then it changed the shape of a popsicle stick, and I was like, holy shit, I never noticed. Like I knew we called it a popsicle stick, and then the moment I read it, I was like,
don't you hate those? Like again, 2 + 2 = 4. All of a sudden you realize that fuck.
yep. No,
terrible.
it's there's been a few of those. It's been a few of those. So through high school, that's what you're doing. You're collecting. Now, when did you move? You said you were in Alabama till
I moved at age 12, so
okay.
basically
Now
12.
you're
So
back. Now
I'm
you're
in Maryland now. Now I'm in Maryland.
Okay, what area in Maryland?
Gaithersburg, Rockville area.
Okay. So you're up there, and you're just collecting your. Well, not
Comic
collecting,
books, collecting comic books, and well, there was a major roadblock on my nerddom that happened, which was discovering girls.
Okay.
so so all of a sudden I'm still geek, but I'm closet geek now as opposed
All
to
right.
being overt geek.
So what did you get into sports, music, anything that
Music. That's probably where it's always my brain overcompensated with that. So
So
90s
what did you get into when it came to like music?
90s alternative, hands down,
Okay.
is still my favorite shit. Like in my car, I still have the original CDs for the Crow soundtrack, for the Tank Girl soundtrack, stuff like that. I just was all over.
Because
Spawn soundtrack.
yeah, I ask people about music, and I'm like, I don't want to disparage anyone else, but like being in the punk scene, like it's more than just music. It really does become this lifestyle.
Yes.
And I don't think you got that for people that I like pop music. Okay. I don't think that was a lifestyle. I know that sounds weird, but punk becomes such a lifestyle. Same with like people that are into like rap, or especially
punk
back
is a
then.
punk is a it's not just, it's a lifestyle, it's a mentality, it's a philosophy.
Yes.
It's not just a guy with a mohawk. It is, because you can still have a guy with a mohawk and he's a poser. And well, I'm just I was in general, I'm one of those guys who could like go and hang out with all the different subcultures. So I'm listening to some hip hop. I'm listening to metal. I'm listening to, but the one that I personally was resonating with was, again, things like, not quite the angsty bands, but I love things like the Kim Deal with the Breeders, with the Pixies.
Okay.
That was the kind of stuff that really pulled to me. And then it kind of escalated up to metal. So
metal's always been in there.
metal will always be there.
I've always liked some metal, and then it comes even. It's so weird because punks tend to really hate metal, and then you find out so many metal bands are influenced by punk bands.
Oh yeah,
which is crazy because you go from 3 chords and about 2.5-3 minute songs to now songs that are 7 minutes long. there's guitar solos, completely different genres. And as you get older, you start seeing these punk bands that are like, they love the metal. They love the metal. God, that sounded very old.
I took my daughter to her first show back in November. And we actually saw Baby Metal. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them.
Nope.
3 Japanese girls who sing with a heavy metal band behind them, and they are absolutely awesome.
Now, do they sing metal?
Yes.
Or it's just
So
metal?
they do both. It's a weird hybrid, but
Okay.
it's one of those things where it shouldn't have worked, and it works beautifully. Like they've played with Rob Halford. They've played with um all kinds of greats.
Okay.
But there's a neat saying I learned about metalheads versus hippies. Metalheads are nice people pretending to be mean, while hippies are mean people pretending to be nice. And that metal show absolutely was one of the best things ever, because they saw me with my girl, and this person taps my shoulder, and I'm seeing this woman with a throat tattoo, shaved head, piercings all over, and she's saying, "Does your girl want to move up front here? I got two other kids up there trying to catch this, trying to for view of the show." And it was one of the coolest, most wholesome moments ever.
I have seen so many punk shows, hardcore shows, and again, if you don't know what's the difference between punk and hardcore punk, it is night and day. That how many times someone will have
TSOL,
kids in.
Green Day.
Yeah. Like you'll have, well, I don't consider Green Day. No, we don't put Green Day with punk, all right?
Well, 97 time, 97.
No, Bad Religion,
Bad
Pennywise.
Religion.
Okay,
Bad
no
Religion.
Green Day. Green Day will admit they're not punk.
True.
But I can't tell you how many times just what you said, that someone is there with their kids, and those people there make sure nobody hits them. You want like if they bring that kid up and it's like by the pit, they're going to make sure that they don't get hit because they're little kids, and they make sure they have like ear protection on and everything like that. It is such a good community. And again, I'm not saying everyone is.
No.
All right. Not saying all the people are, because let's be honest, when it comes to not punk, but hardcore, for some odd reason, there's a specific set of guys that might have boots with certain color laces on it that don't like other ethnic people.
Understood. No.
But they get weeded out pretty damn quickly. I got to say that. They get weeded out pretty quickly, to be honest. And Jeremy Kimberlin is jumping in saying Baby Metal is awesome as fuck.
They are. They were. It was it was an amazing live show. Next on our list is another group called Electric Callboy. So
Collection Nexus says they go from cutesy vocals to gruff growls in an instant. I don't know if it's going to be something that I'm interested to want to listen to, but it's something that I want to go. It's something I want to go listen to and hear what they are.
Yeah,
I got to hear it, because now
if you could, I would pick. There's a song. If I was I would look up a song called Headbanger.
Okay.
Or they also did another good song. Have you heard of a band called Bring Me the Horizon?
Yes, I have heard of them.
So they did a song with Bring Me the Horizon called Kingslayer. That's actually pretty. It's goddamn epic.
I'll check them out. But that's awesome that you like. My kids don't want it. My son, he didn't care. He doesn't like punk. Like,
Yeah.
I could hear like the songs that he kind of liked. I realized pretty quickly he does not like the real heavy stuff. But there were some bands that he's like, "Hey, could you play that?" He tended to like Rise Against, which it's kind of odd because they're considered hardcore, but I don't really think they give a hardcore sound as much. But they're heavier than like the punk bands.
Right.
He really likes that. He likes. There's one song that he really likes.
You might like Breaking Benjamin.
I think he just listens to pop. Like when they're with their mom, they listen to like all that type of stuff. So I don't have FM stations plugged in other than sports stations. I have a sports station. That's what I listen to. And now the oldie station has now become like the 80s station. So I listen to that.
Yeah. Oh,
it kills. I know it has to kill my dad because oldies 104.3 up here. It used to be all like 60s and some 70s, 50s. But now it's 80s, which I cannot believe I'm saying that. But
do the math. Remember when we're in our parents' car and your mom's putting on things like, My Boy, like the Shangri-Las and things like that. So this is like 1980, it's 1982. Yeah. And we're listening to stuff that's back in 1955. That's when that music came out. Yeah, that's about 30 years. Now it's 30 fucking years.
But I know my dad, he hated that music. So I feel bad for him because he doesn't have like just a six. And I like 60s. I like Motown music.
Mhm.
I hated it as a kid. I hated
You
all
learn
the
to
old.
appreciate it though. Once you learn
And then
music.
yeah, and then a guy that I was friends with in high school, he listened to it all the time, and we hated it. But then you really start to like it, and then now when I hear it, it makes me think of my parents and my mom and everything. So, the collection next is after taking my daughter to last few Vandal winter formals, she finally said she doesn't want to go anymore.
I have no idea what a Vandal winter formal is.
I know. I thought she.
Now,
was
let's go
trying
to
to
see
figure
the
out
Vandals. That'd be kind of cool.
I was trying to figure out if you were saying he took her to see the Vandals, which I don't think I would take my almost 16-year-old to see the Vandals. There's the Vandals, Guttermouth. Nope. Like you can listen to it, but even there are songs that I turn off when I'm listening to, like when it comes on in my car, because I just have shit on my phone or on the little drive.
Mhm.
That a lot of no effect stuff. I'm like, nope, I'm
Nope.
not listening to Get Together in the Sand. There's certain things you don't need to listen to with your kids. They can hear it, but you don't need to listen to it. The collection next says they have really mellowed out. I've heard some stories. You're talking about the Vandals. The lead singer of the Vandals is like a total Christian, which is kind of crazy.
Now, one song that my girl got into was "The Damn Valentines."
Is that a song or the band?
The band, because we used to do, because she was for a while she was watching wrestling with me.
Okay.
And she of all the wrestlers that she liked, she loved Bobby Fish. And so when he was with Red Dragon, there was that the Damn Valentines did their Red Dragon's entrance.
I haven't watched wrestling in a long time, so
Okay.
I know the name.
But anyway, that was a Ring of Honor entrance. It's just they have a song called "Dance Away," and that's when she was in martial arts. She would want to use that as her entrance music.
So you talk about like getting in all that. Were you into wrestling back then?
Yes, I did have a big wrestling. Yeah, I got wrestling bug hit me in 2000. Is when it hit me hard.
So as towards the
End of Attitude.
End of Attitude era.
Right as WCW was going. Right as
WCW was already gone. I mean,
yeah,
it was there.
ECW was gone. WCW was dead.
And Aaron the Toy Enhancer jumping in here. What up, guys? Don't forget to smash that like button. Yes, please hit that like button. Also, I have his links to his YouTube and Instagram in the whatever it's called description. So go over there and hit it for Trustarscreamer. And hey, that's what his wife calls him, so I can call him that. Oh, I don't want to call you everything your wife probably calls you. So
you'll probably nicer.
That's what I mean.
You're probably nicer.
It's been a long time for me. All right, my ex and I have been split up for 9 years now, so it's nice, and sometimes it's not nice, but it's nice to not wake up and have someone mad at you for no reason.
I was just breathing. That's all. She was right.
This still gets brought up all the time. My ex had a dream once that I cheated on her, and she was mad at me the whole day. And we still make jokes. And if I see a reel where someone does a reel about it, I'll send it to her. And she's like, dude, you shouldn't have cheated me. I'm like, dude, it was in your fucking dreams. It was literally in your dreams, and you were mad at me the whole day.
That's the one lovely thing about this hobby. That's the either A, who else other than her is going to talk to me about this stuff?
Yeah.
Or B, how the hell could I afford to?
That's another thing. Yeah, I don't. Hey, go see one of the other kids. Oh my god! Why am I the only one that can hear him? Like
I hear him.
I know. You would assume one of the kids would be able to hear it. Hold on, let me scream for one. Oh my God.
Do you need to run a commercial while we take care of your
No, I
dog?
just need to yell for one.
Okay.
Oh, here they come.
I could do it for you.
Aaron says Punk's gonna find a short hot chick at Joe Fest. Hey, point them out, but I didn't see any. I'm just saying. There was a couple, but they were all in relationships.
So I was joking around with the whole about cheating. When my wife when we were first dating, the moment that she became my girlfriend officially, I'll never forget this. Getting up in the morning, I'm getting ready to get ready for work. Shower, come back, get my stuff on, and I see the bed's made. Awesome. Then I notice, wait a minute, the covers look different. She had bought me a new quilt, or a new bed cover, and new pillowcases. And they were Transformer. It was a Transformer blanket and Transformer pillowcases. At first, I'm like, okay, that's awesome. And then it hit me. And I call her up. I'm like, you just made sure that no other woman is going to ever want to go near that bed. And that is one of the reasons why I married that woman. That's
So when did you guys start dating in high school?
no.
Okay.
No.
All right. So once you graduated, did you graduate?
Yes.
Okay. I only asked because that guy right there, Aaron the toy enhancer, I made that mistake of asking him. He's like, I didn't graduate. I'm like, fuck. But he's successful in life. He's done a lot of things. So, once you graduated, did you go off on to college, or did you just go?
No, actually, that's a great question. I tried going. I did not complete college. I did complete vocational school, but I did not complete college. I went to it, but I didn't complete it.
Not saying you're dumb, Aaron. You're dumb about some things.
Mm.
And I have no problem telling you that. It was just one of those blindsided things like, shit.
Mm.
And I think I knew this anyway because, we talked a lot through Joe Fest and everything. I mean, I stayed at his house for a night. So, all right. So you went off. You tried going to school.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of did the same thing. It didn't last.
I was doing better at work. I worked in bar.
Yeah.
My first job was working at a nightclub. I was a bus boy at a bar. Then I worked at a pool hall for a little bit. Then I worked at hotels. I mean, I did a lot of jobs, but I did end up getting a vocational degree that was completely useless. That's about it.
So you graduate, you go into the workforce. Are you collecting?
I did not. Again, it was just pretty much comic books.
Comics.
I did not get into toy collecting specifically until I moved out of my dad's house and I had my first apartment, and I decided that I wanted to I wanted to get back into some things. And that was when Transformers Armada came out, and that's when I got back into collecting Transformers. So
what are you spending your money on other than comic books?
Dates.
I know you said you kind of what?
Girls.
Okay. So you were just kind of chasing tail.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, especially and the anime. Honestly, and anime. I was buying movies. Actually, jokes. I forgot. I finally got rid of them all. I had a huge DVD collection. I was so into movies.
All right, so you're collecting movies.
I was collecting. Yeah, I had I don't know if you remember Sunco's video. I was part of the points program. I was getting the special editions. But the worst and the dumbest thing is, here's the thing for movies and someone like me. I watch a movie once. It's imprinted.
You talked about your useless knowledge, and I can't say that I've experienced it on a show because I've never been on it, but I've seen some of the stuff that you've posted.
Yeah,
I am useless knowledge, which is awesome because useless knowledge is what separates us from people that make money and do successful things.
Well, it's like when people were talking about the whole that Superman trailer, and it's like they're complaining about Nathan Fillion's haircut. It's like, God damn it. No, that was comic accurate. That was exactly how he was drawn back in Justice League International, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's again, I'm just a walking reservoir, and it's awesome, but it's annoying because I can't use this brain. I couldn't use this brain in college.
But I will say this: you don't come off as a know-it-all, at least from what I've seen. Like there are some people that have to correct you all the time, and they always have to be right.
They're assholes.
Yeah, and it's cool, but eventually, and again, I ask people. I mean, you watch my reviews.
Mm-hmm.
You see, like, I'm reviewing an action figure. I don't know everything, and I tell, hey, if you know what it is, and you can read the comments, and you can see when someone's being an asshole about it, telling you what it is, and someone that's like, hey, just so you know, like you mentioned this, boom. You said it, Ed, not me.
The only time
Matthew,
I will go into
roundhouse Ed first.
The only time I will ever go into asshole mode is to out asshole an asshole to take him down a peg. If he wants to try, it's one thing if someone's sitting there and okay, no, it wasn't Keith Giffen who wrote that Justice League comic. It was Joe DeMatteo, something like that. Whatever. I'm not saying it, but if someone's like, well, actually, you should know back in issue 12, 14. It's like, fuck, bitch. You want to play that game?
I find other things to get aggravated. I'm well aware that I get aggravated over. Are you like in a submarine?
Me?
Yeah. When you hit something, it sounds like the echoes in a submarine. I don't know what it was when we were talking earlier before we started.
I actually just hit my mic a second ago.
Yeah, you don't sound bad, but you're hitting something and it sounds like an echo.
Like that?
No. It's hitting, it's when you're hitting that. I don't know what it is.
I have not hit that in a while.
Crow said, I don't want to hear those sounds, all right? I don't want to hear those sounds.
I'll try to readjust. Maybe I'll go there. Hopefully that sounds better.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. You don't sound bad, though. There's no, it's just weird. It sounds like the beeps and the creeps and the sweeps.
It's another Spaceballs reference.
And G.I. Jetman says, true, nothing wrong with knowledge. You seem like a cool guy.
I try to be.
It's not true. It's trust. Yeah, sonar. That's it. Thank you very much. Boop. Oh, well, she's back. Viper Scout jumping in. Hi, just got off work. All right. So you go into the workforce. Now, did you end up finding like a specific career that you jumped into, or?
At that time, like I said, I started out in the bar industry, which I was in that one. Actually, I was working bars all the way up until the age 28.
Okay.
And then that's actually how I met my wife. I was working door at a bar, which is why I can always say I will always remember the first words I ever said to her. Can I see some ID, please? But but through then, I also worked in the hotel business, and I did a lot of side jobs and things like that.
All right. So,
but my main job, the main job that I do now, I didn't get into that industry, which is I sell patio furniture, I sell grills, and I sell indoor fireplaces. And I got into that industry when I was 26.
King Panther says, Punk, you aren't hearing things. I've heard it as well. It sounds like a sonar radar of a sub, and it's making my Cobra EOS feel uneasy.
Sorry?
Again, I heard it before we started. You don't sound bad, and I don't know. It sounds like whenever you hit something, it's radiating through it. Because it wasn't when you hit the mic, but it's not doing it now. So it just it comes and goes.
I'm going to be paranoid about this because I haven't heard this before. You're the first one to mention that.
Because you're probably not hearing it on your side.
I've got the monitors in.
doesn't matter because when I was doing this, I never heard it. And Matthew's like, you need to stop tapping the microphone.
Gotcha.
Everyone hears it. And I'm like, I don't hear anything. It's like, you're tapping the microphone. Because I would sit like this and I would tap the microphone and it would drive people nuts. But you don't hear it on your end.
Got it.
Yeah. There's no big deal. Believe me, we've dealt with worse. Aaron the toy enhancer. Aaron the toy enhancer has like the worst sound ever when you have them on.
I could believe that.
Okay, so when do you meet your current wife?
It was actually the bar I was working at was started to shut down. It was one of the last nights of there. And like I said, she and a friend of hers were coming to the bar, catching the show. And it's cool because this is like one of the only badass moments of my life, because her friend's ex-boyfriend was basically getting drunk and harassing them. And he is one of the few people I ever actually got to pick up and take out of the bar. And then he apparently was still out in the parking lot with like a case of beer later waiting for them. And so we called the police, and I'm out there, the other guy, security guy's out there, and the owner's out there telling him to leave. And this guy tries to take a swing at me with a beer bottle. I actually catch it, take the bottle, chuck it, and she's over there watching it. I have never done anything that awesome ever since. I want to point that out. That was like the only time. And I walk up, I'm like, I'm sorry you ladies had yourself a rough evening. You know, if we can do anything to make it better. And then ran into her one other time at another place, and next thing you know, we're here.
Dirk says, damn, Aaron, it's not your night. Hey, Aaron's just taking stray bullets today. But Aaron knows it's all in love. I like Aaron, man. Aaron and I get along really, really well. I mean, although, you know, they did say when I spent the night there, they thought if they would have put the sledgehammer and like a big like 4x4 in the room, that might have been a little too far. I was like, yeah, I probably would not have stayed the night. Misery.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Crusty Old Crow talked him out of that one. All right, so at this point, are you? I mean,
now when I met my wife, I was collecting. I was back in full collecting. Yeah, I was actually renting a house. I was renting a room. I was actually renting 2 rooms in a townhouse. 1 room just for my collection.
And she still married you. How she still went out with you?
Dude, I don't know why. We've been together 18 years. I'm still trying to figure it out. And much like you, she doesn't drink, so she's dealt with this asshole sober.
Wow. Yeah, that takes a lot. I'm not saying you, but
and that is why I vacuum this house. That is why I cook her dinners. That is why.
So okay, so you're collecting.
Mm-hmm.
You meet this nice lady. I'm assuming she's a nice lady, right?
Mm-hmm.
You sweet talk her. She probably thinks you're this badass now after what you did.
Exactly. It's the greatest con of my life.
Yeah. She's probably like, you've never done anything like that again.
Nope.
like when someone's getting mad at the Burger King counter yelling at, is she like, dude, take care of him? And you're like, someone's yelling at the poor lady at Walmart.
No, if that happens, I will jokes aside, that I will step up against an asshole like that. That's a different thing altogether. But
I've had to do it a few times. It's kind of crazy how some people act, and you're like, dude, calm the fuck down, man. Like,
have you seen the toy community? Calm the fuck down. It's just toys.
Unfortunately, I may have been in some of it, but
I'm just saying. But as long as right now, every now and then you just remind yourself, it's just toys.
It's just toys. This is a hobby where you're supposed to have fun, and I don't think a lot of people have fun. That's the saddest part. I don't want to get off topic because we'll get back, but I don't think a lot of people have fun.
But
it's like that. But it's like that in everything.
Oh yeah. Sports, music, movies,
I
books.
can remember the last time that I actively threw my skateboard and threw a fit about it. And we're talking, I was like either 20, 21, somewhere around there. But I can remember throwing a fit because I couldn't do something. And I threw my board in the back of my Dodge Neon. It was the first brand new car that I ever had. I sat down in it and I'm sitting there. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm never going to be pro. I'm never going to make money. If I'm not having fun, why don't I just leave? And from that moment on, if I was having a bad day, I'd be like, hey guys, I'm out of here. And they'd be like, dude, what's up? I'm like, dude, I'm just not having a good day and it's not worth it. I'm just going to get mad and take it out on something. And I'd put my board in my trunk and take off.
Have you watched Ted Lasso?
I watched the first season or two because I don't have Apple TV, and I loved it.
Did you ever see? Did you see as far as when Roy Kent took like one of the guys to where he used to play soccer at night?
I don't know.
It's one of the I can't remember. It was one of the African, one of the guys from Africa, and he takes them over, and they're playing soccer at night, and he's like, go out there. He's like, this isn't pro. This isn't there. Just go out and have fucking fun. And you got to remind yourself. Did she Batman? No, she did not. No.
Well, you did say you're like 5'6".
Yeah.
You're like Burt Ward Robin. I'm sorry, I can't resist. I'm the exact same. See, no one can say anything to me because I'm like the exact same. I have the exact same stats as Wolverine.
There you go.
Same height. I was the same weight.
It's actually there. You go.
I can't grow facial hair.
But it's like, okay, so I try to do, I sit here and I try to do toy reviews that, like tens of people watch, tens and tens of viewers. Every now and then I'll sit there and I'm like, why am I doing this? I get frustrated. I hit that wall and I'm sitting there looking at it and believe it or not, the reviews is not my passion. I love toy photography. I fucking love that. And sometimes I'll take a break from that one and just spend an entire day. It's like, this is taking a photo of something is how I have fucking fun. And I have to remind myself that's one of the reasons why I like it.
That's first off, what are you doing right now? Because that's where the sonar is coming from. That's it.
I put the figure back on the table.
Yeah.
On the metal table. We have
that's the sonar.
That's the sonar. Okay, we figured out what it is. It's my metal table.
It's like I said, it's an echo going through something, but it wasn't. But yeah.
Boop, boop. Anyway.
Yeah, that's every eel got scared.
Okay.
Daredevil Dave says, "Come on now, Punk. Wolverine has an adamantium skeleton. No way, you're the same weight. He's like 200 pounds. Because adamantium is like super light too.
That is the reason why it's used in Captain America's shield.
I'm no longer 200 pounds. I've dropped like 15 pounds. So
I found it. Don't worry.
I'm gonna try and lose. I'm gonna try and lose more. So hopefully you can have that too.
I started getting I've gotten really good at cooking the last couple of years. Really good.
All right. So you meet her. She thinks you're this badass. You're grabbing beer bottles out of people's hands.
I
And
think.
then she comes over and finds out you collect toys. Now, is the 40-year-old virgin out yet?
It was after the 40-year-old virgin. I actually, before I showed her the collection, I said, go ahead and make all the jokes you want right now. Because, well, I also want to point out, at this point in my life, again, this was before Iron Man came out, but at this table reverse going through the mic arm. Okay. But at this point, I've also realized I've embraced being a geek. So
can't make fun of you if you embrace things you love.
And that's honestly, literally, I would be going to the bar with an X-Men graphic novel and reading at the bar. Like, that's how I was.
Okay, maybe you're getting made fun of.
Well, no, this was exactly my philosophy. Jokes aside, this was my philosophy because I was tired of the whole part of going out, meeting a girl, being all impressed, trying to be all impressive, and then, oh, by the way, this is what I got. Instead, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm wearing the Star Wars shirts. I'm wearing the Star Trek shirts. I'm wearing the Decepticon symbols. I'm going out because you know what? If they can get past that now, then they'll get past. Then I don't have to worry about it. It was almost like a filter. I mean,
No, it makes sense.
I remember what.
Jan Jetman said, "Don't worry, I'm the same stats as Refrigerator Perry."
We'll mail away for you later. I will never forget. There was one night I was sitting at the bar and I actually had an X-Men graphic novel. I'm sitting there reading it, and this girl walks up to me and goes, "Are you reading a comic book at a bar?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Why?" And I look her dead in the eyes and I go, "Because I need the handicap. What can I get you to drink?" So
Okay. We'll see.
it may have worked. We're not going to say, but
So Jeremy says Wolverine is 300-ish with the adamantium, 198 without his adamantium skeleton, weighs 105. Well, either way, I just remember I read this. There was a comic that had stats. Maybe it was during the time we didn't have the adamantium.
that could be valid. It could be when he had the bone, when he was boned
Because
up.
I was not 200 pounds at the time. The height wise fit, but I remember when I hit 200 pounds, I was like, "Yep, I'm like the exact same stats." And you're right. I do not have an adamantium skeleton, or I would try a lot more shit on my skateboard because I wouldn't worry about anything ever breaking. There's also no healing factor either. All right. So when she does find out, how does she? Because
She actually was cool. She was cool with it. Like I said, that was like 2 days later is when she changed the bed sheets.
Okay, but when you tell her you're a collector and you collect stuff,
Uh-huh.
when she sees the collection, does she say anything like, "Okay, I know you said you were a collector. I didn't realize you meant."
Oh no! I go full transparent. I go, listen.
Okay.
I've got a room that, and things I love to say. I've got a room that will make a 10-year-old boy faint. That's how I always present it.
Yeah, you might want to not do that.
Okay, well, it's not like I'm a Catholic priest.
Thank God. I'm not saying anything because my dad is a huge into the Catholicism. As I mentioned to you, I think before we started,
Mhm.
Ed loves the story about my son, and and I'll reiterate it really quick. When we were in Florida, my dad and his wife are very Catholic. She more is than him, and she says, "Well, Andrew, that's my son. Why don't you say grace?" Before I had a chance to say we don't say grace, he blurts out, "I'm atheist," and because my stepsister was there too, just dead silent, and I was like, "Oh."
And on that moment, things got awkward.
Yeah, oh, dude, it was so bad.
I like this story.
Because Andrew's like, "It wasn't like that." We're like, "No, it was exactly like that." It just went dead silent. I mean, there's only 6 of us, but you're like, "Oh my God."
There were 6? Yeah.
Yes.
I promise. He forgets that Grandpa laughed at him.
Yeah, my dad laughed about it. My dad laughed, but my stepmom was not.
No,
So-
like, it was when he was trying to explain, like, "Ah, blah, blah, blah." And, like,
Okay.
Grandpa laughed at it. I was like, "Stinka, you keep forgetting he laughed at you."
Anyway.
But I really liked that one. Because I was waiting too. I was like, why is nobody touching anything? God bless it wasn't me.
Ed says a Catholic priest that calls himself Trustarscreamer could be a bad thing.
They think I'm Jewish.
Cool. All right.
Ooh,
All right.
you like annoy me so much.
Well, I'm trying to do this, and you're trying to show me that, and you're like shaking it back and forth.
I'm not shaking it back and forth.
You're right. You're shaking it side to side.
Steady.
All right.
Oh my God.
All right. So.
Oh my God.
All right.
You're
So.
so fake. Turn into
So-
a different person.
So you meet your wife. She's there. She comes in. Now, how long before you guys got really serious?
coming.
We actually had a pretty, as I said, we actually had a pretty quick, I don't say romance, but I mean, I met her in August and we moved to North Carolina that following April. So
Okay.
it was pretty quick. We moved in together pretty quick, but then so that
So
was
did you move away from all your families?
yes, 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 we
Even
did.
her family.
Yes. Well, kind
Well-
of. We kind of moved closer. We kind of moved closer to her mom. We moved
Okay.
away from her. She was living with her dad up there, so we moved away from her dad. I wanted a clean break. That was my
Okay.
big thing. I've been living in that town. I've been like, you know what? I need to do something for me. I need to strike out, truly get away from it all. And so her mom lives in the boondocks in North Carolina. We moved down to the Raleigh area, which was about 2 hours away from her mom. But effectively, we were off on our own, being adults, adulting together.
You weren't trying to get away from your dad and your parents or anything, where you just wanted just to have
Well, no. By then, my father, no, I wasn't trying to get away, escape from anything. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah,
so your dad had passed away?
Yeah, my dad passed away. He passed away before I met her.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. He was He was in his 70s. He smoked way too much. That's but
Yeah, still that it doesn't. it doesn't make it any better. I mean, it doesn't make it any better. I mean, I was 13 when my mom passed away, so
yeah. But
I
but no, I was not trying to escape. There was no family drama. There was no fuck y'all, I'm out of here. It's just, you know what?
let's just go.
We need to do this.
If we don't do it now, we're never going to do it.
That's exactly what it was.
That's what I kind of, when my daughter, my oldest, she decided to move, her and her fiance, he got a job in San Diego. And my ex she's very upset because she had moved already 3 hours away from us. Now they're going to move across the country.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing was, hey, they don't have kids. This is the time to do it.
Exactly. And that's exactly. And I made a much better life for myself. I mean, I got out of that Maryland, D.C. area. I mean, dear God, there's no way I couldn't afford to go back there if I wanted to.
I know. I have a friend that lives out there.
Everything that was my past, almost everything in my past from that area is gone. Like the pub where I proposed to her at, gone. The bar I met her at, gone. The restaurants we used to go to, gone. Everything just got, the charm and life is taken out of that city.
Okay, so you moved there.
Mm-hmm.
Any family or anything down there?
Nope.
So it's just you and me.
You and me, kid.
We'll make friends along the way.
Exactly.
Only I collect toys, so you have to make the friends for us.
Actually, she's an introvert, so even I still had to make the friends for us.
I love it. All right. So aren't there other toy collectors in that area?
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, what's funny is I find out about all these toy collectors that are in that area after I left the area.
Isn't that...
Like the whole Figure Fight Club, he's down here. He's down in the Raleigh area. Inutabi's down in the Raleigh area. The whole Action Figure Alliance guys, they're down in that area. There's actually a huge toy collecting community that I never knew about until after I left.
Oh, wait, where are you at now?
Winston-Salem.
Oh, I thought you were still down there.
I'm still in North Carolina, just a different city.
Yeah.
2020 had employment challenges that I overcame.
Understandable. All right. So when do you have one daughter, you said?
Mm-hmm.
So is this something you guys were planning on having?
Yes.
It was
yes,
a child. Is this something you were planning?
Actually, no. Okay. You're going to love this. You're actually going to love this. So when we first moved into our first apartment together, I remember we were walking around sometime and we walked by a pet shop. And this will all make sense in a moment. We walked by a pet shop and they were doing like a special on hamsters.
Fiber Scott, why? What happened in 2020?
My jackass of a manager fired me for dumbass reasons, and then so I lost my job. Nothing to do with the virus bullshit. I had a jackass manager who F him, and he ended up getting fired 6 months after I left because he didn't realize I was the one holding that store together. So that's the nutshell version. And I'm still being nice. But anyway, so my she and I are walking, and there's a pet shop, and they were having like a special on hamsters, and she's like, "Oh, look, they can get like a hamster for 50% off." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you got to get a hamster. You still need the cage, you need the bedding, you need all that stuff." So I said, "Listen, if you want a hamster, how about we go in there and we buy a cage today? The next paycheck, you buy the bedding. The next paycheck, you buy your wheels, things like that." And we joke around after we got married because we wanted to have a kid. So when we got the house, one of the things I said before I wanted to have a kid, I wanted to be married and have a house. So we got married. 6 months later, we bought a house, and I started joking that one of the bedroom that she already had a bedroom scouted out that she wanted to, for a nursery. And so I nicknamed that bedroom the hamster cage. So, this child our daughter was wanted, our daughter was planned, and we are very, very thankful for her. So
Awesome.
it was all, yes, it was, not a forced situation. It was, we got married to have the kid, not got married because of the kid.
Yeah. Quickly here.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
Pop Blender with the $5 super chat saying, "What's shaking, punk, Trustarscreamer, and chat? Always a good chat. Always a good watch. I'd expect nothing less." You are way too kind.
I'm sorry for letting you. Much like I said to my wife, sorry for letting you down.
I don't know if you know. So when I was trying to figure out what song should I do for super chats, I wanted to do that. You ever listen? That's a real song. I never noticed that it's a real song when Shane McMahon came out.
I just thought it was an entrance song. I didn't realize it was
So did I. But it goes on and on and on. And there's lyrics to it, and it's awful.
Well, a lot of those entrances are full songs.
Oh, I know, but I never heard more of it.
Oh yeah, no. That I knew. Yes, I do know there was more to it.
Awful.
That was not. I can't know if that was was it Joe Johnson who did those songs? I don't remember if that was one of his or not.
I don't know.
But it is not Stone Cold's entrance.
No, it's not.
It is not Sometimes I Want to Drink a Little Beer. I still fucking love that theme. I don't care.
There's a few good wrestling songs. But yeah, when I did that, there's this whole long song. I'm like, whoa, wait, there's more to it than just Here Comes the Money. I hear that, and all I picture is Shane-O coming out backwards and doing his little his little dance or whatever he did. It was all right. I'm like, I don't remember lyrics.
It's there's more to for Edge. There's more to You Think You Know Me.
Yeah, I'd probably be shocked if I wouldn't heard that.
Now, other lyrics are You Will Never Know Me, but
unfortunately, Lita got to know him.
So did Beth, but he's with Beth Phoenix now, so life is good.
Is that who he's with?
Yes.
I came across Rob Van Dam talking about, or actually Maven talking about Rob Van Dam.
Rob Van Dam's in a throuple right now.
All I know is the girl that was sitting there was hot. And she looked much younger than him. And he looks much older than what he is.
He's with two. He's got two.
Yeah. Well, once again, sometimes when you have money, it does that stuff.
And he is the whole damn show.
Maybe. I don't want to try and please one woman, let alone two. But if you can do it, God bless you.
God bless you.
Hey,
so I just said to my wife, I'd rather have one woman looking at me with a smile on her face than two giving me the "at least you tried" look.
Yeah. And again, I don't have to. I don't understand people that are tatted up completely, but I don't have to live with them, so I don't give a shit, right? Just because I don't understand it doesn't mean hey, if it works for you, good for you.
I only got two.
Yeah. All right. So where were we at again? This is the show. If you
were asking about wife, kid, marriage.
All right. So
give each other a special hug.
The hamster wheel.
Yes.
So you have the hamster cages where your daughter lives.
Yes.
Does she know that?
I have told her that story. Yes.
Does
Well,
she
it's
appreciate
a
it?
big factor because I wanted her to know that she was a wanted kid, not as opposed to a. And we got you, so we had to move on.
Well, I mean, like,
There's better ways of phrasing it, I know, but still.
yeah. Well, my ex and I, we said, we basically both said, like, hey, we're not getting any younger. We're not going to try, but we're not going to try and prevent it. And like that, my son came along.
There you go.
And then the same thing with Olivia. All right, well, you know what? If it happens, it happens. We're not going to try and prevent it. And like that, she came along. And that girl didn't want to come out. She'd still be in there if the doctors would have made her come out. She was difficult on my ex. We'll just say that.
I understood. We had the opposite scenario. She oh god, I remember we were heading to the hospital and we were supposed to literally we're getting into the car and my wife goes, take care of the cats. I'm like, okay. I ran by, I grabbed the cat food, dump it into the bowl. I accidentally spilled some cat food. And I'm like, okay, let's get to the car. And she goes, well, what about that? I'm like, what do you mean? And she's sitting here staggering and all of a sudden starts reaching for a broom. And I'm like, oh, for God's sakes. And I go there to clean up the spilt cat food. And I'm like, the cat's going to eat it. And she's still trying to clean it. I don't get it. We get to the hospital. Long short of it, the kid arrived before the epidural did. And so I always like to joke around and saying, if you weren't so damn OCD, you'd have had your epidural. People are like, okay, where's the epidural? The nurse is like, no time right now. She's on her way.
Wow. No, we with Olivia, she was difficult.
She had to be
And what
evicted.
was crazy is that the craziest thing was when the moment the moment it says like this is safe for the child to be born, she was like, okay, now. And then the due date came and she still wasn't here. And then it went on and on and on and on to every day. She's like, today's the day. And then we get to February 17th. That was the day my mom passed away.
Mm.
And my ex was like, you are not coming today. Yeah. And then she was scheduled for the next day. And we took her in. Oh no! They broke the water. This baby was not coming.
Mm.
So she finally got pushed out, and she did not want to come out. But every single day, from the moment they say, "Okay, if she's early, this is a safe date," and then she gets to that date. And my dad and I were like, it's just another date. No. That's your mom died. Your aunt will make some big thing about it. So I'm like, she held it in because she held it in one extra day to push it out the next day just so it wouldn't be that date.
Understood.
I'm like, whatever. It's just a date. It's just a date. It's no big deal. You know, shit happens.
Yeah, my girl was past the due date, but she showed up before the induction date. So it's like to say, she made it on her own terms. Basically, she was within safety parameters, but had to do it on her own terms.
Yeah. This one was like on the edge, like right on the edge. And like I said, she had no. I remember they broke her water, and they're like, "You're not dilated." They gave her the medicine to dilate, and nope.
On this week of A Punk with Toys, we're talking obstetrician stories. That's right. So go ahead and call in with your tales.
Well, I recently told a story about my son, but when he was born, and people were like, "Oh, dude," because like, did they talk about like the catch and everything? Did they break the bed down for the basket?
Oh yeah, they not gonna lie. When I saw them do the bed, the transformer sound went through my head.
Not me. We're sitting there, and now she's in labor, and it's me, mom, and the nurse. And this nurse, she's holding my ex's leg up like this. She's like, "Here, put her other leg on your shoulder." Now, how this little nurse is just holding this arm like she's a fucking, and she's like, hey, do you want to see your kids? Do you want to see your son's head? I'm like, what? Because it comes and then it goes back in.
Yes, I'm aware. I'm aware.
And I'm like, do you think it's time to call the doctor? No, we got time. I must have asked 10 times. Don't you think we should call? No, we're okay. We got time. And like you can see the crown of his head. He had a full set of hair. It's all matted because it's all slimy and shit. And then finally, I'm like, do you think it's time? She's like, okay, let's call the doctor. So she goes up, calls the doctor. They all come in. And they're like, okay, let's break down the bed. Let's break down the bed and put the basket on there. And I'm like, whoa. A fucking basket? What? And they're like, well, yeah, for the catch in case we drop it. I'm like, whoa. What are you fucking talking about? You have one job to do. You need a fucking basket for the catch. Like, this thing is not coming out like fucking Brett Favre throwing a football, right? I mean, you have one job to do. And it's coming out pretty slowly. I know this because I've been asking for like a half hour for her to call the doctor as I'm seeing the head come, right? And then as all this, and I'm like freaking out. This is my first one, right? I'm freaking out. There's 3 residents. And they have to do so many catches. I fucking hate that term. You're not catching the baby. You're slowly bringing it out, right? And they kept asking, and because none of them would stand up. None of them would say, yeah, I'll do it. Like, hey, does anyone want to do it? No one saying anything. Doctor said it a couple times. And finally, my ex, she's like, I don't fucking care which one of you it is. Get this fucking baby out of me. And I'm like, oh, okay. Voice of reason. This is a woman that's been yelling at me all night because I'd ask, are you okay? No, I'm not okay. Oh, sorry. Like, so I'm like, dude, is that a fucking football? You need a basket? Like, find other terminology.
Yeah, I agree.
What's the basket for? In case we drop the baby. Whoa. We don't drop the baby, all right? All right? This is not a football player, all right? This is not a football.
Those should be non-slip gloves you're wearing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And then I remember he was born and, they, do you want to hold him? Yeah. Gave him to Susan. Said she puts him on her chest and she's like, get him off me. You're so exhausted. I can't even imagine. So, and when women say, you know what, if men had to have kids, we wouldn't have any more kids. And it's like, yep, you're damn right. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. Well, I can't push out a baby.
People say they say the equivalent for a guy is a kidney stone, but I'd say a kidney stone's worse because you never have a guy say, you know what, a couple years later, I think I want another one. Just saying. Not trying to sound sexist here, but I'm just saying.
That is very true. My ex has a lot of health issues, and I don't. But I'm like, I get canker sores. Sometimes
I'm not. Please tell me you're not equating canker sores.
And then I'll be like, Susan. Sometimes I get 2 canker sores, and they're so close that they'll combine into one. Do you know how bad that hurts? I know you've had 4 back surgeries, heart surgery, thyroid removed, so many, but I don't. Canker sores. This may be why I'm single.
And why you should switch to sugar-free candy?
I don't. If I drink a lot of orange juice,
valid.
You know what? Sometimes you bite your lip and then it turns into a canker sore. Yeah, she doesn't like that. But whenever I see that that meme of a woman giving birth and it says something like
almost as bad as a man having a cold.
Yes, I always send it over to her. I'm like, see? Yes. Viper Scott and I'm still living. Kiwi Jack Cousins.
I am trying to process this whole conversation right now, and I don't think
I told you this isn't all about toys.
I'm aware.
I don't think you realize that much.
I didn't think there's just yes.
We go again.
I can see we have gone everywhere.
How often can we talk about fucking toys before we get tired of it? I mean, I love toys.
Oh, I know.
Good Lord, I I get to talk to somebody that if I'm on a show with them, guess what we're going to talk about? Fucking toys, right? If I'm on with, if you're on the Clubhouse, we're going to talk toy. Well, Clubhouse, you never know what we're going to talk about. But for the most part, you're going to talk toys, right? This is getting to know someone.
Oh, I know. I'm up.
All right. So your daughter comes along. Does anything change with your collecting, with what you're doing?
In some ways, it got better and worse.
Okay.
I have always integrated her with it.
I'm not reading this, Matthew, but I'll leave it up here for. Yes.
I am learning a lot more about you, sir. I mean, I used to at that time, my collection habits evolved from more from Transformers to more things like Marvel Legends. I started collecting the Figuarts with the Kamen Rider stuff. And what was funny, like I said, I do toy photography. And as she was growing up, I would bring her into the room with me for that.
Quickly.
Mm-hmm.
When I was going through to make a thumbnail for you, you have some wonderful pictures in there.
Thank you.
Like, honest to God, you had some absolute wonderful pictures.
I appreciate you looking at them. Hardly anyone ever does.
Well, to the point where, because I picked the Thor one, but as I'm going through them, some of them I was like, are these even his pictures? Like, I didn't know, if you were just taking, screenshots.
Nope. Every one of those is mine. That's all my stuff.
Yeah. But as I'm looking through them, like, there's so many good ones. And when I do one, I got to make it so you can see, see everything. Like, obviously, Thursday with a friend. And then I'm like, you have some really good fucking pictures. So
I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. But there's a picture of, a picture, but I would bring her in, I would actually bring her into the nerd room. And when she was learning how to talk, I would have her start naming characters. So
I cannot believe you're still married.
What do you mean?
I guess my ex is like,
do you know what? Because you know what was happening during all that time? My wife was having peace and quiet.
Well, I guess. Hey, I that's what I need to find. Well, I don't need to find a girl that wants to have a kid, though.
I'm just saying, that's how I learned how to use. Okay, when my child was when she was a newborn, people do not realize, there's information out there, obviously, but people also don't realize the other information that's out there. And what I mean by that is, so our kid was born, and doctor told me, go home. She's resting. You go home and rest. Cool. So I get up. Everyone's nap. I get a text. Hey, we need to come by and visit. Hey, I'll be there in 20 minutes. Cool. Well, before I head out though, I get on the computer, and I literally looked up in Google, what do I wish my husband did when our kid was born? And I went on to found some mom forum, and I was finding this whole list of women who are complaining about what they wish their husband had been doing when the kid was born. And I'm here taking notes, like, don't do this. Make sure you do this. Have the diaper pill ready. And that's the kind of dad I was trying to be. And I came across the most wonderful piece of information. And that was that when newborns, they love things with heavy bass and white noise.
Oh.
Because the heavy bass is because they miss mama's heartbeat. So I could literally put my kid to sleep with 9 Inch Nails music because of the heavy beat. But the other part was the white noise. And you know what was some of the perfect white noise that the infant would fall asleep to?
You're snoring?
Video games.
Oh. Really?
I played when that baby was, she was an infant. I played so much goddamn Call of Duty during that time, with this baby just passed out asleep on my chest, and my wife was able to get 4 hours of sleep, solid. I'm here getting prestige level 25. I'm geeking it out, and I'm here getting baby bonding time, wife's sleep, Everyone's happy.
Todd, I was thinking the same thing. He broke Geico trying to make the rest of us look bad.
I'm serious. I'm giving the advice out. I'm telling you, it's out there. I'm like Tony Roberts. It's out there. You just gotta know where to look.
So let me ask you this: before your daughter was born, did you talk to her through?
No,
I did.
I mean, I kind of jokingly did, but
I watched something where they talked about it, and I started doing it. It felt really stupid, but then it's like you're talking to your kid, and you know, Susan was laughing about it or whatever, and I swear to God, both kids, like, they knew the sound of my voice.
That's awesome.
They were obviously going to know the sound of her voice because sure she was yelling all the time, but but we were lucky. Both of our kids pretty much slept through the night.
Yeah. So
we were lucky. It's like she would wake up every 4 hours and feed them. And I had to work, so she's like, I'll wake up with them. But I had the bassinet that sat right next to me. And I always had my hand in there, like on their, and it wasn't comfortable because it was just a little bit higher than the bed, so my arm would hurt. But I would sit there and just kind of hold their hand almost all night.
Oh, for me, it was again past. Okay, that's the one thing about the dad bod. People understand the moves right there. The baby just sits perfect right there. Just saying.
I believe you.
Please, nobody GIF that.
All right. So, but she does come along, though. You said your collecting kind of changed.
Well, yes. I mean, I got into it because, again, I was integrating her in with it. I would take her toy hunting with me. That's how, again, I would get her out of the house. That was actually dad-daughter bonding time. It's a weird thing, but like when she was a
too
kid.
Late. It's too late.
Oh, fuck. Fuck. She's I remember the day she broke into the when she actually broke into the collector's room. I've left out. I forgot why I had left the room, but when I came back, her little footstool was in front of the door, and the door was partially open. And I walk in, and there she is. She's holding a Marvel Legend of some sort, and she's kind of looking at it. And then she looks at me, like, eyes wide. And I'm just looking at her. I'm like, okay, so what are you going to do with it? And she just puts it back on the shelf and adjusts it. And that's when I knew my stuff was safe. Because she was at home in there.
Awesome. That's all. I mean, seriously, like I don't collect Funko Pops. My daughter likes Funko Pops.
I'm sorry. You failed as a father there.
I guess.
I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
No, but I mean, there's a Funko Pop store that we used to go to, and I only found it because it's in the exact same suite that I worked at the skateboard shop many years ago. And I would look over at it, and I drive by there for work, and I look over and be like it's gonna be like 20 years ago. I go into the skate shop, and I look over and I see these Funko collectibles. So I go do my job. I swing on in there, and it was great to walk into this place that meant so much to me as a skateboard shop when it was many years ago, and now see that it's a collector's. They only do Funko Pop. And I talked to the guy, and I leave, and I just told my kids no Funko, like no more stuff till Christmas. This is more than a few years ago. But now I'm like, hey, I call them up. I'm like, hey, we're going to dinner as soon as I get home. We got to go somewhere first. So I took them there. Boom. Let them get something. Obviously, I'm going to break my promise. But they loved it, But going out with my daughter, and she'll go to any store with me.
Well, I like to say we were that we were that dad-daughter team. Like, we got kicked out of. We were asked to politely leave a Walmart because we took foam rubber swords and were fighting up and down the toy aisle.
That stuff she's gonna remember, though.
That was my goal. That is 100% my goal.
And so, when my son was in high school, she was in middle school. The schools are on the same property, but he was getting dropped off before 6 I'm sorry, just before 7, she couldn't be dropped off until 7:30 the earliest.
Hmm.
So we would sit there for a half hour in the parking lot. So we started driving to Walmart because it was right around the corner.
There you go.
So we go, I know we're not going to find anything, but we went there. And then one day, when we go to the toys, then we walk over to the collectibles, she sees Pac-Man and she starts playing Pac-Man. And then one day, she hits 2-player. And so we would play one game of Pac-Man. She only beat me one time, every single time.
But it was earned. It was an earned victory.
So we would play Pac-Man until once we were done, boom, go get in the car, drive her back. And we were still like usually the second or third person there waiting. That's how much time. Until the one day we go around the corner and she goes, it's gone. What?
Oh.
Yeah, it's not going to be there for. I know it's not. She was so pissed off that they moved the Pac-Man game. Now there's not even a game there. She was so pissed off about it. But the last day of middle school for her, I was like, we went there and I was like, this is the last time we're going to come here. Like, this is something you're going to remember. Like, yeah, we dropped my brother off, and then my dad and I we really weren't even going hunting because we knew we weren't going to find anything. And she'd grab that stupid Minions fart gun.
Oh God!
It was there for like 2 years, and
Same one.
Yes, it was the same one.
She ran the batteries out.
Pretty much. And then one day it was gone. But she would grab that fart gun and she would do it every single day. But you know what? It's those are the little things that they're going to remember. And again, it doesn't have to be anything. It's not like it's one of those PSAs that I hear on the sports commercials. Like, it's not that hard to be a good dad. Well, it's really not, but some people can't do it, or a good mom. I don't want to lump dads all together. There's a lot of shitty moms out there too. But no, I think it's great that she has some sort of collecting bug for you when you guys can do something. And it sounds like it's more your thing. Does your wife get involved in it, or is it
no? My wife, I don't want to say she allows me. I mean, all the geek stuff is down here in my basement.
Okay.
It does not go upstairs. She doesn't say it. It's like I can count on one hand that someone has stepped on the amount of times she's told me not to buy something or to hold off on something.
Now,
and if
she collect?
She doesn't collect. She's a reader. I mean, she's okay. She collects books.
Okay, so she's a collector. I mean, it's still collecting, but
yes, oh, absolutely. So we appreciate.
Now, do you ever say to her when she wants to buy a book, you say, there's this place called the library. They have lots of books, and you don't have to buy them. You can take them back. Probably wouldn't go over well, would it?
The only time I ever tease about, well, she does use the library, but it's like if she wants to try out a new author, that's about it.
Okay.
No, but that's dude, that's my get out of damn jail free card, man. If I know I need a favor or something, I go and buy a Barnes and Noble card, and that's my life is good. You still mad at me?
They have toys there now.
I'm aware of that. They're stuck.
No, that's cool that she has something, because I feel like if they don't collect anything, sometimes they don't understand it and they're not willing to And I've always said, anytime I've dated somebody, I'm like, you don't have to understand that I collect, that I skateboard, that I lift weights or whatever.
But if you appreciate
you just have to accept that I enjoy it, and then it makes me happy.
I mean, again, I'm sitting here messing with this freaking Mythic Legion. I start getting some things. I'll take a figure up to her and she'll go through it. Like she knows what I'm looking for in a figure. So she deals with my madness. When I build my dioramas and stuff like that.
Is that what she says? Go do a live stream.
She might say tonight. If she wants to be alone, she might say tonight's a good night to do a review, Dave.
I love that. But I also think couples, and I'm probably the worst person for any type of relationship advice, but I think when you spend too much time together and you spend all your time together, it drives you away. Like you have to have your own things to do.
Well, okay. How can I do this? I'm trying to do the right voice here. A punk with toys, like Delilah. I don't know if you ever started that thing, but you do need to, with relationships, yes, you do need to have time apart. You do need to be able to have some time to do your own thing, because that's also the time when you're able to get back together and you have something to damn talk about. What did you do while you were over there? Hey, how's that book that you're reading? Tell me about what you did. You can't do that if you're in each other's damn lap the whole time.
I'm with you 100%. My ex and I, we were together all the time. And to top it off, she worked at my company. So it's not like we were together. It's not like we were together the whole time because I'm on the road. But pretty much if something happened, she was going to hear it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, what do you fucking talk about? You know, and I don't blame social media for people cheating. But yeah,
people were cheating before social media.
Yeah, but you know why it seems like you have so much in common with that girl from high school that you haven't talked to in 30 years? Because you haven't talked in fucking 30 years.
Because you have something to talk about. You have 30 years to talk about.
You know? So it's like, yeah, that's why you seem like you have so, oh my God, we always have something new to talk about. Yes, because she doesn't know all your fucking stories. But spend 20 years with someone, guess what? They know everything.
There is, well, it sounds cliche of the absence makes the heart grow fonder. I'm not a fan of that per se, but sometimes you guys, and again, that goes to why I took my kid away. So you know what that also meant?
Yeah.
My wife had time to do stuff. Hun, what did you do while we were gone? Because here's what we did.
Yep, exactly. Like I said, I'm probably not the best for relationship advice. Ed, he's probably not the best either because he's been single a long time too. Tony, Johnny, like a lot of us have been single for quite some time. But it's like these little things that you get to know. Hi, buddy. You know, there's other people in this house too. Do you have any animals?
We have 2 cats and a hamster.
Okay. Oh, you actually got a hamster.
We've gone through, we've gone through, this is our 3rd hamster, and we've had a bearded dragon too. I miss that guy.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, cats, they don't wind you outside. Dogs, on the other hand, yeah. Yeah. And
well, a cat is like that roommate who is like that guy who never leaves the sofa. He's sort of a roommate, but not paying rent. And occasionally, every now and then, if you're having a day, you're kind of like, you can talk to them a little bit, and then they're tired of hearing.
Kind of like a kid.
No, because you still have some authority over a kid. You don't have any authority over a cat.
Oh, yeah, yours is 12. That's why.
I said some. Trust me.
You just say she was 12, right?
She is 12.
Yeah.
Going on 17.
Trust
me, we're there.
Again, you've seen how she is. She's gonna be 16 in a couple weeks, right? I never thought that the chemistry between my daughter and I would be that much different than my son. Like, she's the one that wants to spend time with me. She's the one that is more like me than my son.
There's a reason why it's called Daddy's Little Girl and a Mama's Boy.
Well, he's not a mama's boy either.
I'm just saying, but I'm just saying.
No, you're absolutely right. You know what? Again, I don't know if you're into sports at all. Dan Patrick talks about it, and he said he has like 3 girls, I think, and he was like, just listen to them, and they'll tell you everything. Don't just listen to them. Just they'll tell you. They want to tell you, but if you try and talk, they don't want advice. Sometimes they just want to hear. And it's hard because it's like, why can't you just say that you just wanted me to listen? I don't want advice right now. I just want to listen. Because guys will tell you, like, I'm just going to bitch. Well, why don't you? No, I don't. I know what I need to do. I just want to vent. Women won't tell you that. Like, I didn't know what you want me to do. At least I think so. Like, Ed will tell you. I can tell you all the things not to do.
Just remember, when she says, oh, it's fine, It's not.
Oh, I know that one. I know. What's wrong? Nothing. Okay. Where a guy is completely different. What's wrong with you? Nothing. Why aren't you talking? I don't want to. Well, did you think about I don't have any. And then again, you see all those reels where it's like the guy's like, huh. There's one that I see. What if when it's raining, it's just God peeing on everyone?
The whole I think he's thinking about other girls. Nope. Why is there? Yes, I'm very familiar with that. I've sent many of those.
All right. So you're more into photography. What is there anything specific you're collecting now?
I
I know
have.
you have a large collection.
Yeah, I collect a little bit of everything. It's almost easier to say what I don't collect. Like I don't collect Masters of the Universe. But like I used to have a ton of actually I never when I moved, I've never unboxed my Transformers since I moved. They've stayed in storage, and I think I feel it. And I even
How
though
long has that been?
2020,
Okay.
yeah, so I haven't looked at I haven't handled a Transformer figure in almost 4 years. I've bought some, and some are still in boxes because I don't have a place to set them up yet. And it's like I just need to get rid of them cold turkey. I did the whole thing of Marvel Legends, which is slowly winding down. I am all in right now on Classified, Action Force. Um, I'm trying to get. I've not done the Monster Force, like I think I mentioned before. I know I've heard amazing things. I know. Oh, I know. The whole 5K toy thing bug has gotten me horribly. I was doing Storm for a while till they don't freaking collect it, since they're not completing a team anymore, which pisses me off. Jada I got going on.
The Jada. A lot
Street
of
Fighter.
like more than just the Street Fighter? Or?
No, just the Street Fighter. Just the Street Fighter. I'm not doing No, I saw that the RoboCop car. I was almost tempted for that one.
For Jada?
Yeah.
I don't think I saw that.
Yeah. It's the police cruiser with the little metal RoboCop.
Oh, okay. All right. I know what you're talking about. All right. I mean, everything Jada's doing is awesome.
Oh.
But I tell everyone, if you're a collector, because I wasn't a Street Fighter guy. All my friends played it. I did not. But man, you get one and you're like, this is such a damn good figure. How do you not get another one? And then you're just like,
and that's what happened to me with Mythic. Like I said, I literally just caught the Mythic bug in December.
And see, everyone said once you get one, and I was, I'm doing reviews, and I'm like, I'm going to try and review, like, I had this idea, like, I'm going to review, like, a figure from every company or every line. Okay, I'm not going to do that. All right, because I just don't have the money, nor do I have the time, nor do I really want to. Everyone said that the moment you get a Mythic Legion, you're going to be all in. I'm not like that. But I will say this, my collection is growing. But I have no problem picking and choosing.
No, I will say that's one of the nice things I do like about the Mythic thing is it is very cherry picking, but man, once you find a cherry that you like.
Yes. Like we're Classified, I'm all in on. Operation Monster Force right now, I'm all in on. Pretty much everything of that ilk that Fresh Monkey Fiction or Big Bad Toy Store is putting out. Because I know there's the one, I forget what it's called, the one line. Most of the bucks are the same.
Yeah, like the spy. It's got the spies. Yeah, it's got another one you're talking about.
But that's not made by Fresh Monkey Fiction, even though it's the same molds. That's Big Bad Toy Store. I didn't realize it either. I think Bill, the owner, he cleared it up on one of the Facebook pages. He's like, that's not Fresh Monkey Fiction. That's Big Bad Warehouse or Big Bad Workshop. Soldiers of Fortune. Thanks, Ed. That's their stuff, even though a lot of the molds are the same.
Chances are they're doing what we call the furniture industry. They're just brand labeling it, as in
yes.
they're probably the Fresh Monkey crew is all still making it for them. They're just giving them the license and they're getting the rights to put their name on there. So that's all it is. It's like it's like a ghost kitchen.
Yeah. Well, the reason why there wasn't a Kickstarter was because BBTS upfronted everything.
Yeah. As I said, They produced it. They brand labeled it. They just basically.
And that's
be-
why.
Do I collect? I do not collect any of that vintage. No, I do not.
He hates 1/18 scale. I think that's what you said earlier, right?
A 1/18th figure one time, nearly killed my kids. So, I've declared war upon them. I see a collector with I see a collector with a 1/18th figure in their hand. I just smack it out of their hand, saying, "What are you doing?" That's the kind of guy I am.
Like it's that beer bottle. No.
Collect what you collect. Like what you like.
Exactly.
Get your dopamine. Enjoy it. That's half the fun.
See, I got aggravated with everyone that was so pissed off about how long it was taking this Operation Monster Force to come out. Because I'm like, you have not put any money down.
Oh.
So if it comes out in 2028, you can cancel it. You haven't given them any money, unlike a lot of these Kickstarters. You going to bed?
Yes.
Okay.
Even with a Kickstarter, to be honest. Yeah.
Good night. Love you.
Good night.
What? I said good night. Love you.
Baker. Love you. Because you're fake.
Yes. Because I'm fake.
Really fake.
Anyway.
Listen, again, it's three important words, guys. If there's anything you'd learn from me tonight, 3 important words. It's just toys.
Here, you probably never heard this one before. This is Ryan I was telling you earlier about when my daughter came in before we started. This is what he says.
We're talking about frickin' toys here. They're toys.
Yeah.
And he's absolutely right.
Now, there are people, not to tangent, and I'm not saying this to throw shade. There's some people who it's their whole shtick to go crazy. Anthony's Customs. I love and hate his stuff. I respect everything he's doing. The guy puts the research into it. The guy puts the time into it. But sometimes I'm like, holy fuck, I know it's a Hasbro. And I get why he's doing it, because at the same time, if there's a figure I'm kind of really curious about, I want to hear everything that man has to say. But it's just a toy. There are people who declare war on a brand for no fucking apparent reason. If you don't like it, don't buy it. I
am so with you. Although I know people say, well, you've done that. You've gone after Super 7 and stuff. And
hey, someone's buying Super 7. God bless them.
But I have an issue with, I have a problem with how the owner, Brian Flynn, I don't know if he's the owner anymore. Who knows what he really is. But the way he portrays things, and when someone orders something and it's not done properly, the way he solicited it, and then he basically says, it's good enough. That's bullshit, especially for $55, man. Like, I'm sorry, someone spent $55. You need to make it right, not do that. It's good enough.
Well, but here's the thing. Again, we've got people who are reviewers. We've got people. If you bought that Super 7 figure the first time and that was the problem, and you heard that response, you vote with your wallet. And there's a reason. I will say this: there's a reason why you can get them now for $17 on Big Bad Toy Store as opposed to $50.
Shit, dude! That whole GI Joe wave, the first one was like $11.
Exactly, but if you keep on feeding that machine, you know what? That's on you. I'm not going to sit here and call you a fool for paying that, because you're getting you obviously are finding that product worth your money. No one is, at the same time, if you don't like a product, no one's taking a gun to your head and saying you need to buy this. So that's how I look at it.
So Allison says, I feel like Larry is mad because he wants to be Brian Flynn's best friend. This is my biggest problem this is one of my huge problems with Brian Flynn. He's a fucking punk rocker, and he's a fucking skateboarder, and he makes toys, and I want to like him, but everything about it I hate. So it's like, I want to like all this stuff, but then I hear stuff, and it feels like there's lies always coming out, and I absolutely hate it. It pisses me off. It's like, dude, how do you do this? And then it's everything anti that I am, but That's kind of how I am in many ways.
I get that. You want
No.
to be this. You put this person should be cool, and they end up not being cool.
So let me ask you: you talking about some? Do you have any fresh monkey fiction stuff?
In my collection currently, no.
No, like none of the Christmas stuff.
Nah, doesn't go with doesn't look good next to my menorah.
Oh, that's right. You're Jewish.
It's okay. No, we actually celebrate Christmas at the house. I just like.
Do you?
That.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I fix copy machines, and one of our big clients is a very orthodox Jewish school system.
Oh, I know the type.
But I'm like, I need to become Jewish because they have so much fucking time off. There was like a couple years ago, there was like almost 6 straight weeks they were off of school because of how all the holidays for them fell.
Do you like bacon?
Very much so.
That's the sacrifice you're about to make.
It depends on how many paid holidays I'm getting.
Do you like your cheeseburger?
I like the bacon cheeseburgers.
Yeah, so that's the sacrifice you're going to make.
I didn't say I want to be that orthodox. I just said I want their vacations.
But you got to have one to get the other, man. That's how it goes.
I don't like that.
Then enjoy your bacon cheeseburger and get back to work. I work freaking retail. You get more days off than I do.
That is very true. You're in retail?
I sell outdoor furniture, and I sell grills, and I sell fireplaces.
Yeah, I get. Well, I don't work on the weekends.
I do.
See, I don't. I couldn't work on the weekend. I couldn't work after hours. I'm an 8-ish to 5-ish guy now.
Okay, but and God bless you, and that's awesome, and I'm jealous of you. When I was in the hotel business, the place didn't even close. That's why I got out of the hotel hospitality industry to work retail because I went to a place that actually fucking closed.
My ex, when I first met her, she was going to school. She has her daughter, and she's like, I'm just gonna get a job at a hotel and get my master's degree. Sure you are. She gets a job at a hotel, gets her master's degree, but she was working because she worked nights. She was working when the blackout happened. When was the blackout?
Which, are you talking about 9/11?
No, the 3-day blackout because of fucking Ohio. You guys didn't lose. It was like 3 days of no power because of some surge that happened in Ohio.
Maryland wasn't on that power grid.
And
I'm on the Maryland DC power grid, so we got the defense and everything else going on.
Yeah, I think it was around 2003. No one knew what it was because it was after 9/11 because nobody knew if it was it was 3 days of no power.
I remember. No, I
What?
Oh, cool. Thank you, Kiwi. That means a lot.
574 subscriber.
Yes. Told you, I get tens and tens of viewers.
It happens. You take your time. You'll build a following.
Do you hear me even begging for views? No, I know how it is.
No,
I'm doing it
no,
for
but-
fun.
No, but I'm just saying, like you keep up and you keep doing what you. Man, people don't watch me because I'm that great. There's something that they just they have a connection to me. I mean, come on. There's a lot of people that do a better review than me, but no, yeah. So I thought it was huge. So if you didn't lose power, so I think on New York, all the New England states lost it. Michigan, Ohio,
Gotcha.
but it was out for 3 days, and she worked at a hotel, and I mean everything was out, and except for the phones because you still had landlines.
Right.
But she had people calling. People would come up there, and they're like, "Oh, you guys don't have power either," and she's like, "There's no power anywhere, no lights, unless if you had a generator, you can't get gas."
No.
And it was like, people were coming in there, and she's like, "Fuck, dude." Aaron, in the description, there should be a link to his YouTube and Instagram. I think I put it in, didn't I?
I trusted you.
It's right there. Sometimes I'm doing it as I'm. I get so distracted.
If only there was people's jobs were to moderate the chat and they could put those links in the chat.
I don't pay my moderators very well. I'm serious. I was going to click like, but then saw a CM Punk shirt.
Must be more of a Cody fan.
And that awesome neck tattoo.
Yeah, he's still one of the nicest people out there.
Hey, you know what? Like I said, I don't watch wrestling anymore. I liked when he came in. I think he was. I think he wanted a link to his YouTube, but like I said, it's in the description. So
click in the description below.
Yeah,
link in the description below. That's how he says it.
It's Trustarscreamer.
Trustarscreamer. Yes.
Trustarscreamer.
Oh, look, it's like this name right here, guys.
Don't do Trust a Screamer because you'll miss a sweet letter.
Do not put that in Google. It's.
But yeah, so and Vine Jungle. So I think Vine Jungle and didn't we say we already have the same one? Isn't that what
No, he was 475. So we actually went up a couple.
Yeah.
Yay, thank you guys. I appreciate you.
That's again, that's kind of what the premise of the show is also. Like I said, get you out there and
how do the e-girls do it? You know, guys, if I get to 580, I'll take off the shirt. It's okay. It's a Punisher shirt.
All right. Let me ask you this.
Yes.
So, Matthew, who's the girl that she just started on Instagram? She's on YouTube.
I know who you're talking about.
Okay.
It's her dad's collection. She's always said she's blown up, but she at least admits that it's her dad's collection.
Okay. So I've had people that are like, fuck that. And I'm like, okay, hold on. I watched her first video. And she talks about how her dad took her to all this The Daughter of a Collector. Is that the name of it?
No, it's not.
I don't think that.
It's her actual name.
Yeah. But so I've had people message me and they're like, fuck her, and she's not even a real collector. I'm like, go watch her first video. She talks about how her dad used to take her all the TV show, or not TV shows, all the toy conventions and the toy stores, and she knows what she's talking about. Like she says it's her dad's collection. She doesn't act like it's not hers. But I'm like, I put myself in like, if Olivia's like, hey, Dad, I'm gonna start, talking about your collection, and you and I, when you would take me to Sergeant Red's or to here, right?
I'd be like, please, I'd be crying a little, actually.
Exactly. So I was like, I have no problem with what she's doing. Don't get me wrong. She's blowing up because she's very attractive, but we don't have that a lot in the toy community, and she's showing off toys.
And she's showing off toys. She's not showing off other things. Yeah, that's the thing.
Other assets.
I'm just saying I personally think it's actually a rather wholesome thing. She does some what was that? Counting seconds, how long to grab a figure from my dad's collection before knocking something over.
Yeah.
I died because it's that fucking Wukong figure that I have over here. I'm like, I feel exactly that. Exactly. You're laughing. She's talking about collector problems.
Yeah. But when I listened to that first video, I was like, man, she decided to study YouTube. And she probably knew exactly, hey, you know what? I'm pretty attractive. Even though she'll never admit it. I'm pretty attractive. And there is a space for a attractive girl that actually collects toys, or in this case it's my dad's collection, but I have stories about going places with my dad and stuff. That's awesome.
Agreed.
Because again, from what I gather from you from early on, again, before we went live, you're like, hey, it's not that your videos or anything, it's that you're a good dad, which means the world to me. When someone actually, I hate when someone says you're a good dad, you pay child support. Like, fuck you. Like, it's not a good parent.
No.
The friend of the court just takes that out, all right? Like, there's a lot of shitty parents that, a lot of shitty parents that aren't, that pay child support. So I was like, and when I watched that and I heard people complaining and saying, oh, fuck, I'm like, I disagree. If she was coming out in her bikini and like, hey, this is my collection, then you're like, all right, this is, sex sells, we know.
But she's not. No, she's talking collector problem, and it's a goddamn good collection too.
Oh yeah, and it's probably a way to stay connected with her dad. And she's got to be. She's an adult, right?
At least teen. Yeah.
Oh, she's got to be in her 20s, right?
Yeah.
So like that's a way to stay connected. And it's like, I'm sorry if my daughter still wants to stay connected, and her thing is, hey, Dad, I'm going to come over and I'm going to film a video in your. I don't have a toy room. I have a toy house. I'm gonna film little short videos with your. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, my daughter's gonna come and hang out with me. Awesome. Matthew says, I can't find her. Don't know her name, but she's in my IG feed. She's clearly an adult. Yeah. Oh no, don't worry. As soon as we get off here and you scroll through Instagram, she's gonna pop up.
Your phone heard you talk. Your phone's hearing us talk about her, so it's gonna pop up.
I just saw an iPhone commercial for the new iPhone where they're talking about like, are you tired of being followed with your are you tired of being followed with your web surfing and everything? Mm-hmm. And they're like, new iPhone. I'm like, bullshit, dude. That's why I can't say something and look on Facebook and be like, oh, hey, look, an ad. I was just talking about that. That's crazy.
I was watching a video. I can't remember if it was Hella Dope. Where Zakane? I can't remember if it was Hella Dope that Zakanen was on, but he literally had a bottle of Crown Royal whiskey, and I looked at my wife and said, I haven't had I haven't had Crown Royal in about 25 years. And I pick up my phone, I scroll up and, hey, look, hon, and there's the ad right there.
Yep. Oh yeah, it's again, someone. I heard someone made a comment not too long ago about like, they're like, yeah, I don't think they're listening, and it's like, dude, if you say her name and you have that, she's gonna say, what can I help you with? She's gonna tell you the weather. Yes, they're always listening.
Always listening.
They hear keywords. All right. But I don't have anything to hide. So, I'm not really worried, but they're listening. Again, you can't go through Facebook and YouTube and not see the same, like, that's odd. I was saying something about Church's Chicken and all of a sudden, here it is. So, all right. So where do you see your toy collecting going? Like, where are you looking?
The gotta catch 'em all phase, I think, is done. I think that's a big thing. The blanket, buy it all. Lord knows
when I did. When you say buy it all, what do you mean?
Well, like when I was
like all in one line, or
like when I was in Marvel Legends, for example, it didn't matter. I was buying complete waves.
Okay.
I wanted that Build-A-Figure. I wanted this. I won even the retro cards. I bought all the retro cards.
Johnny says, this is why I had a 12-year-old phone working with the DOD. Yeah, I still didn't believe that you actually had a 12-year-old phone until numerous people told me. No, it's a 12-year-old phone.
When it rings, does it go doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo?
He finally got a real smartphone.
Okay.
But that's why he wouldn't do like any types of lives or anything.
But you're saying, so I'm definitely not doing the whole I'm not. I think I didn't buy I think I bought maybe 4 Marvel Legends last year, for example, if even.
And they were really good last year.
But first of all, a lot of them didn't even show up in stores.
That's true.
Which is, that's a big factor for me because I didn't want to pre-order a figure and it be crap. I like to sit there, look at the figure, assess if I
Okay.
really want it or not. You know, like I'm doing something stupid on my channel right now. I call it, in the field reviews, where I'm out there. Oh, I don't want to buy this figure, but hey, here it is. Like it's the Marvel Legends Spider Boy figure, and I'm just looking at it through the package. And I'm doing my 30-second short on there, whatever. And I just saved myself $25. But if the only way to get something is pre-ordering on Amazon, it's like you're rolling the dice. I find that stupid, to be honest. And I missed out on figures that way. Like I didn't get that Marvel Legends cable. I didn't get, I couldn't complete the Zabu figure, which drives me nuts.
I think Sergeant Retz has them.
Okay, I'll take a look at that. But where I'm going at though is, in general, like some of those.
I didn't.
So, so I'm definitely, like I said, I'm doing a lot more cherry picking as opposed to, I need to get a line and buy the complete line for the sake of the line, if that makes sense.
No, it totally makes sense.
It's like you're talking about with Mythic Legions. There's definitely some figures that I aesthetically don't care for. And I don't feel compelled to, well, I got to buy it because it's in the line, or the Cosmic Legions, It's like,
I'm now classified with those wonderful numbers on the side.
You see, that's like I said, I'm having to wean myself off of that one. The classify is probably the hardest one because, and as weird as it is, that number system fucking kills me. But I was still strong. I still didn't buy the Snake Eyes figures to complete the numbers.
Which one did you miss?
I skipped on Snake Eyes, the movie, Snake Eyes, the movie figures.
Oh,
just to complete the numbers.
You could have got them all for like $25.
I know, but I listen. I'm paring down in some ways, but I'm buying more things still the other way. I'm a fucking army builder, like fiend right now.
Okay. Do you keep your boxes?
That's
a yes.
Actually, I'm better at it. Like again, Marvel Legends, I'm throwing them out there. I was throwing out my Lightning ones. Some of my high-end figures, I do keep the boxes.
Yeah. Well, like Mythic Legions and anything from the Four Horsemen, they're meant to be packaged back up. So if you decide that you want to sell them, you really want to have everything. Now, I have all my classified boxes. People probably see the videos that I did creating it and everything. I have a hard time getting rid of boxes. I wholeheartedly will admit.
When I was doing Lightning, I loved the art on those. I love the art on the classified boxes. The photography on the back of it's fantastic.
Yeah. So Todd C says, found it. Sydney McKeenan. Yeah. Like Sydney McKeena. Her intro sounds like the makeup videos my wife watches, but it's toys. She probably uses a cap cut. Yeah, because I know I'm not an inbox collector, obviously. Or else I wouldn't be doing reviews. Be a really weird way to do reviews.
Well, for classified figures, you can put them back in the box.
That's what drives me nuts about people that are buying two. I was just talking to someone about this. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. You can just package it up, put it right back in the box.
Except for the retro cards.
What made even less sense were the people that were buying two figures when it was plastic free, and you're going, you can't even. You just close the box up and then put it up there.
Yes, I agree.
These are never. Very few of these are ever going to be worth a lot of money. There will be some.
Yeah.
Right? We know that. The Dr. Mindbender, Serpentor, 00 Snake Eyes. The Arctic Backs look like they're just going to go up in price because I don't think they're ever really going to do the restock of them.
I was lucky. I snagged a couple of those. I was pretty lucky on that.
Yeah, I got two of them. So what happens when you order from multiple places. you make sure you don't miss out on it. And sometimes you get multiples when you didn't want it. I didn't even realize it was that hard to get.
Neither did I. I was at
but I think people didn't order stuff. There were so many people that didn't want to order stuff right away. That's why I didn't want to hear when the Trouble Bubble was sold out and when that Vamp, people threw a fit. I'm like, that Vamp was there until they started shipping out. It was sitting there. You could have ordered it, but you didn't want to order it. So don't be mad that, oh my God, they won't let us get it. No. It was up there. Same with the Trouble Bubbles. And then there's too many Trouble Bubbles. Now anyone can get one.
Mm-hmm.
after people pay like, $100 for them. Like, just wait, dude. Just wait.
Patience
it out.
saves. A man once said, "Patience saves pockets."
Yes. Matthew says he's in the process of tossing boxes. Yeah.
I do exactly that. I'll have a box purge basically.
I just did it. I just purged a bunch of my Motu stuff, like the vehicles and everything. I just purged a whole bunch of stuff. Which I'm like, why am I holding it? Like, dude, this fucking thing cost me $3 because it was on clearance. Why am I keeping on to it?
I mean, there's some boxes I'll never get rid of because like the Hiss box and the Dragonfly box are fucking gorgeous.
Oh yeah, you can't get rid of that. The Robo Skull, like some of the stuff.
I wish, but I'm kind of glad I didn't get the Robo Skull because I still have no idea where I'd be putting it. I still have to figure out where the hell I'm going to put that Rattler when it shows up.
That's a future problem.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a problem.
That's a fourth quarter problem.
Because let's just say this: on my bar downstairs, where I'm doing like, I'm ranking all the classified figures.
Mm-hmm.
Right down on the bar, I actually have the Robo Skull because I don't know where else to put it. Like upstairs in my living room where I have all my classified, there's no room for anything else. I have to because it also kind of sits out kind of wide on the stand. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, I'm watching a lot of reviews of that one, and it's an absolute labor of love.
Yeah, it is absolutely beautiful. It is made extremely well. They did not skimp out on it, so I'm glad they took a little bit more time.
And that's okay. What something you mentioned earlier about people complaining about like the Fresh Monkey fiction taking forever to come out. At the same time, or Kickstarters being delayed, as long as the final product is good.
All right. So
if something gets delayed and it's crap, that's a different game. But
Kenzo says the boxes for the Cat Slayer and Thunder Tank, I have to keep them, but fuck those are bigger than bigger than the Dragonfly and the Hiss. All right. So here's my issue with what you just said. When they don't give you real updates. So Call Sign Longbow, and Operation Recall. I backed these, I believe, before the Sky Striker. I understand there are delays. When they send me an update, an email, it is like it is reading through shit that I can't. I'm like, I just want an update.
Yeah, communication is important.
Yeah,
that's big.
Skeletron, what they did, and I gave them full credit for it, was they did this whole Kickstarter, but as certain figures got done, they're like, hey, this wave is done. We're going to be sending this out to you. And then, so everyone that backed it got it, and then they put it up for sale. So there was this perfect communication of how that it was coming out, and they were letting you know exactly what was happening, but they're also showing you products. So it's like, I don't feel like I'm going to get ripped off.
Meta Travelers are doing that with their stuff. That's exactly what's going on with them. They actually have been getting delayed, but I've been seeing the prototypes. They've been sending me the pictures. They've been giving that communication. Exactly.
Yeah. And Matthew says, I don't have a problem with stuff taking a long time. I have a problem with lack of communication and constantly putting up more pre-orders. Yes. Before the first thing is not out yet. That has been a huge gripe of mine. Like, stop. And that was a huge ramen thing, to the point where Ace jumped in. And again, as Joe Fast, I talked to Ace. I really do like Ace, but it was like, you've taken this money from people. I'm not saying you're going to rip people off, but stop putting up more pre-orders before the toys, not like the other toys, aren't in hand. That's really upsetting people. Nobody wanted to say anything. And I think a lot of people didn't want to say it because Ace would want it on every channel. And people are scared that, well, if I say something not positive about someone, they're never going to show up. I'm never going to get them out. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm not here to try and get people on. You know, I want to have conversations with people. So I'm not concerned about that. But Ramen Racer came out. I did the review. I thought it was better than I was expecting. The detail is absolutely wonderful on it. Ace, every complaint that I had or everything that I pointed out, Ace actually jumped in the comments and he addressed almost every single one of them. And at Joe Fest, he showed us everything. I flipped the van around and people were like flipping out. Ace was the only one that wasn't flipping out while I was on the panel because everything was inside of it was falling down. So it sounded worse than what it was, but he's like, no, that's basically the production. I don't care, But yeah, I have a huge issue with that. Like, why are you putting out more stuff when you haven't shown this? We've already backed this. And I understand that you're working on other things and that's how you want it to go. But let's get stuff out so people have
It
it.
will make me, now that I know what you can do, I'm going to want the rest of the stuff you're going to put out.
Exactly. And that's where my issue is with Operation Recall and Call Sign Longbow. I don't want to say they're not going to. Carson has done many Kickstarters. He is huge in the Joel community. He owns 3D Joes, right? He'd be stupid to screw everyone. I don't think he's screwing everyone, but I feel like their communication just isn't the best in my personal opinion. And I only backed 4 figures. So it's not even like I went all in. I backed 4 figures from both those lines. But here it is. I think that Kickstarter, I think was either before the Sky Striker or right after the Sky Striker. That was a long time ago. And when I'm just seeing like
Sorry.
Now that was an echo. But when we're just starting to see like
knocked out my monitor cord.
When you're starting to see the painted prototypes, that's when you're like, dude, really? It's been 3 fucking years and we're just seeing painted prototypes?
Well, it's like the Brutal Legends. Those guys are showing us stuff constantly, which is good. They're doing that right.
Yeah. And it's difficult. But, you look at...
And speaking of, Cursed Dead just funded. I just was checking.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
But they're up on BBTS now, aren't they?
Yes, but the Big Bad Toy Store money was actually posted earlier today and it was still underfunded.
Yeah. Which really works out. Like the fact that BBTS does that has helped out numerous people.
I will, we talk, we're friends with Ted and Aaron. I'm not going to, I appreciate independent companies. I support independent companies. But you can't deny that the guys from Big Bad Toy Store, that is a labor of love, and they are good people there.
When I met, like the people that I met at Joe Fest, they seem like really good people. Anytime I've had a problem, I've contacted them and they've taken care of it.
Well, did you see how if you were in California and affected by the wildfires, you're getting a moratorium, they're putting a moratorium on your shipping your loot?
No.
Yeah. So if you were affected by the fire, that 90-day thing doesn't count for you. They'll hold it as long as you need it.
No, that's great.
So
they probably need a refund on their money, but
well,
no, again, like I agree. If people can say whatever they want about BBTS and they're $1 more for some stuff, which I don't fully understand.
Well, it's also, I always say it's like paying comic book tax. When you buy something.
Well, I would if Entertainment Earth and everyone else was doing it, but when they're not, you're just kind of like, why are you doing this? And they don't do it for everything.
Yeah, true.
They don't do it for Valaverse. They don't do it for Operation Monster Force. They can't because it's theirs.
Theirs, yeah.
They can't do it for Mythic Legions or anything for Horsemen. That is a set number. But I think they do a lot of good stuff. Entertainment Earth, Bill and Ted talk about Ted and Aaron, and it's getting late. Ted and Aaron talk about it. They're basically they're just like, hey, you know what? We might as well sell some of the stuff to the consumer, but we're a distribution.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knows it. Nobody knows it. I mean, they started to now because of the internet, but before no one really knew it. But that's where Sergeant Rudd's, and they get a lot of their stuff. Nerdzoic, obviously, Hell Adult Toys. That's where they get all their stuff from. So that's why I tell everyone, I go, Entertainment Earth, you're gonna get it late because you have to send out your distribution first.
Right.
So by the time they get to you, BBTS and Pulse, Amazon, all may have it.
Right.
So, but let me quickly ask so we can. You look like you're getting tired.
It's all right. Yeah.
It's okay. So where are you looking to take your YouTube channel and the shows that you're doing?
So I'll kind of go backwards on that. We'll start with the shows. There's I got two primary shows. I've got the Figure Action Podcast, which is normally done every Thursday here on YouTube at 9 p.m. But I'm taking a break tonight, which is just our basic run of the mill. Here's the news. Let's talk about this. Do you like this? Hey, here's some cool what's happening in the toy world, and discuss what's going on there. The other one is, and I was brought in on that show. So Figure Action, I'm now basically the primary host of it, but I wasn't always. I used to be like the side guy, but then the host he left, and I kind of took over on there.
Okay.
Before he had left, though, I started a spin-off of that called Figure Reaction. Yeah, I know, real original name. But that is, that's actually in some ways more my passion project, because that's one where we kind of we talk to creators. We've talked to, we had Sir Dork on there, the photographer on there. We've had some of these guys from the Kickstarter shows from the Kickstarter programs. We've had them on the show, and just kind of trying to talk to different content creators or different people who affect the hobby. Not affect the hobby, but who are big in the hobby. And we kind of get to get the whole node to them. Like we talked to Quentin, who, the artist Quentin. We had him on there to get their history and trying to pull some sides about people that most people don't know about. Yes, that is the show T-Man 978 promotes.
I don't know who T-Man 978 is.
Oh, you don't? T-Man 978 chill review. Anyway, that's his shtick. That's his shtick. That is his shtick. And he does a lot of Hasbro stuff, independent stuff. So
okay.
He's up in the Baltimore area. But Reaction, that's the one I work with Junkie on with.
Okay.
And we're trying to get I think we're trying to get Art G on. We're trying to get a lot of people like that. So that I've enjoyed a lot. And then finally, there's my channel, which is just literally.
So what days are both of these? One is Thursday.
One Thursday, and the other one is a little more not random, but it's not a set schedule. It's when we can get somebody on. And we try to promote, if we get somebody on there, we start promoting it about 3 weeks out, saying, hey, we're going to be doing one of these. So it's not going to appear out of nowhere. And it's hopefully with the convention scene, we'll be trying to meet more people. So,
are you doing any conventions? Like, are you going to any conventions?
I was going to do Toylanta, but nobody I know is going, and it's not fun going to a convention without knowing people. So right now, I think the only convention I'm going to go to is Legion's Con, which if you're only going to go one con, that's the con to go to.
There's one other one that's much closer to you.
I keep hearing about IshCon.
Yeah, no, that's not it.
Oh. Which one?
Joe Fest.
Yes, but I'm not full. It's like the same reason I don't go to TFCon. I'm not full diehard in it.
Okay, so I will wholeheartedly say this, and anyone that is still in here, Joe Fest is great. It is not all Joe centric anymore. It is a lot like Legion's Con is going to be, but bigger.
Okay.
And I mean bigger in the fact of how big the place is. I think what most of us loved about it, and a lot of us talked about this, is that most people were staying at the hotel and they just don't care. Like, they just let us sit out there till 2-3 o'clock in the morning in the lobby and just shoot the shit. Like, just sit there, talk and everything. So it's yeah, he's not full into Joe. Again, I think Joe Fest was more. I mean, it still is Joe, but they have, they have the Four Horsemen, Four Horsemen, Fresh Monkey Fiction, AWalk was there,
Well, the thing is, you gotta remember, I work weekends, so it's very hard for me. For me, especially, I'm in a commission sales. For me to get
Yeah.
out on a Saturday, it's not just taking time off that actually affects my paycheck in the long run because I'm missing the sales for that weekend. So I have to be very particular when I go.
I don't like excuses for people not to go to Joe Fest.
I understand. It's not an excuse. It's just
With all that said, I'm planning on going, but who knows? I mean,
giving you a super chat every now and then. That money has to come from somewhere. I haven't given you a super chat in a while. I have to remember that later.
Hey, don't worry about it. I don't. This does not pay my bills. It
I
helps
know.
out. I appreciate it, and I appreciate
especially when you do your toy drives. That's a big deal.
That's different.
Yeah, I know.
That was, I got to figure out a better way to do it this year. What I mean by that is maybe do a GoFundMe. I got to look into that so there's less things taken out where.
Understood. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Hey, look, War Chest is showing up about the same time that he showed up for his Thursday with a Friend last week. Only 45 minutes late. What's up, War Chest?
I mean, I was thinking there's a convention called IshCon that's here in the North Carolina area. That's over in Durham. I'm considering doing that one because that's just driving down and driving back.
How far is it?
It's about 80 miles from my house.
Oh, that's nothing.
Yeah.
And I would love to do Legion's Con, but it's just like, again, coming from Michigan and just driving down to do Joe Fest.
Oh, I'll be flying up there. I'm sorry, I can't do those long drives anymore.
I don't mind the drive in, it's the drive out. I
can do a maximum 4-hour drive. Okay. After that, I get going stir crazy.
I drive all day and I've done it for years. So yeah, it's like, but I understand like I would, we've driven down to Florida and back 4 times.
I did the math. How much is gas? Then of course you're driving, you got to get snacks, you got to get food on the road. By the time you add it all up there, I'll take a 3-hour flight.
And you know what? I can't argue that, but I
can watch your reviews while I'm on the flight.
You can listen to them.
But I can't hit the like button.
That is true. That is that is very, very true. All right, so I'm gonna let you go because I think you're getting a little exhausted here.
Sorry.
It's only 3 hours though. Jeez.
But I'm 46 years old now, so I'm not as young as when I started this show.
Happy birthday. Everyone wish him a happy birthday, as today is his 46th birthday.
Happy birthday, Ed.
I remember being 46. It was a long time ago, back 3 years ago.
I remember being 45. It was just like yesterday.
See, this is the problem. I was just talking about this. Once you hit a 5 of anything, 35, 45, now you're almost 50.
Oh, I'm very aware of that.
But I tell everyone, now that I'm almost 50, I am almost 50 till I'm 55.
That is true.
And if someone says, well, you're 53, you'll be like, yeah, I'm almost 50. Didn't you learn how to round? It just sucks because once you hit 55, then you're almost 60.
Yeah.
Which might not be bad if you hit like 87. You're like, dude, I'm almost 90. And be like, wow, you've lived a long time.
See, I'm doing the opposite right now. I'm thinking about just starting to count down. So now I'm going to be at 50, then I'll be 49, then 40,
And Ed is saying, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Screamer. I'm a well-experienced 29-year-old. And happy birthday to Ed, too. He got the first birthday card for my daughter. And I said it earlier, thank you for promoting it on your show. She was like she is a little kid, but she was just laughing her ass off. She was having such a blast watching someone else show her stuff off.
That's awesome.
That's my self-promotion for this. All right. So anyway, tell everyone where they can find you. That was my son.
Okay.
He plays video games. Yeah, that was my son. He plays video games and he's
Sounds like
loud.
he was not playing video games well.
Probably not. When you have to go and tell him at like 1 a.m, like, dude, everyone's trying to sleep. You need to. I'm not that loud. I'm like, yeah, because you have a fucking headset on. You can hear how loud you are. Tell everyone where they can find you.
Well, you guys can always, of course, find me here on the YouTubes at Trustarscreamer, as well as my Instagram at Trustarscreamer. And again, mentioned every Thursday. Since you're watching A Punk with Toys, I know on Thursdays you can catch me on the Replay Squad on the Figure Action Podcast channel, as well as Figure Reactions. Usually on Mondays, so you can catch the replays of those because I know you guys are watching A Punk on Mondays as well.
So there it is. Remember I was talking about J Solo Arts?
Yeah, I could see that one.
I would try and read it all, and I'm not paying attention to the thumbnail, which just says J Solo Arts. And
I did see the J Solo Arts, but for some reason I was almost thinking like the old comic book character Dr. Solaris.
Yeah, but now I know because I've seen him more than enough times. And I pointed this out. It is like I'm trying to read it when I have it up, and I'm like not even looking at it. And you're like, God damn, that's stupid. Oh, I didn't even read what he said. That today is my birthday, also.
Man, 9 months ago must have been a really romantic night.
So we have a trifecta of birthdays here, which this just happened to work out. So it was perfect. And I said, I think I might have said to you, like, you're probably going to end up. We'll probably end up on your birthday.
Yes, you did. So. You did.
Thank you for being the person that got to spend your birthday with you, not your wife right away. She's not there, is she?
No, she's probably dead asleep right now.
She probably, but she did jump in here, so that was awesome.
She did, and I love, and that's why what my wife is absolutely amazing for that.
Hopefully, she gave us a like and not a dislike. Anyway, I'm gonna let you go. Enjoy your birthday. I hope you have something fun planned. You're an adult. You shouldn't. Yeah. I'm like, it's just another day.
I'll be at work.
I was so happy that my birthday landed on a Sunday this year.
Ooh.
Was it Sunday? All I know, I didn't work because of however it landed. And I'm like, good. That means I don't have to worry about anyone at work telling me happy birthday.
I actually specifically told HR not to put my birthday on the monthly roster, on the monthly announcements.
I'm just like, dude, I'm an adult. I don't need adults with
unless you're giving me a birthday cash bonus. Yeah.
Yeah. Do they do that?
No, but if they did, I prefer that. I prefer that over a hollow greeting.
So no, that is absolutely awesome. Anyway, thank you very much. Go ahead, check out his Instagram, which you have wonderful pictures. I just want to reiterate that your photography is, it was awesome.
Appreciate
like I said, I was just going through it. The Thor picture, I'm not even saying it was the best one. It was the one that I thought worked the best for what I was trying to do. But you had so many good ones, and I really had no idea of. Dude, you guys can figure out what I'm trying to say because I'm never gonna. And go check out his YouTube channel. And hey, you know what? If you want to jump over there on a Thursday and watch them live, it doesn't bother me. This show was meant to be watched on the replay to get to know the people that.
And for what it's worth, our show usually ends at 10:30. So the way this is going, his show will still be on, so he'll still get your view.
Oh, I'll still be here. Yeah. That's my biggest thing. Maybe if people want to go on at the same time, but I'm just going to outlast you. So you can still catch me live at some point.
I'm not even going to comment on that last one.
Anyway.
On that note.
David, thank you so much for joining me. Trustarscreamer, or as his wife calls him, Trust a Screamer.
More as get your ass over here.
In bed? On that note, we're leaving. Have a wonderful night.
All right, guys.